Welcome to the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk and real conversations, and you're welcome to it. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about the younger generation, these millennials, these Generation Zs. So before we get started, let's start with the song.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be
Marlene, you
yourself,
got some echo
you
or something.
will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Okay, everyone. I am Marlene. I'm the content creator for Marlene Saunders Show. And on this channel, we talk about all real conversations. So today, my co-host and everyone is welcome to join up on the panel. Just click that link. But my guest co-host today is going to be the Sure Shannon Show. Welcome. Today is going to be the Sure Shannon.
Hey, what's up now? I was saying you got some echo or something.
I'm trying to find out where it's echoing from.
Okay. So you got some echo or something.
Hold on. Hold
Yeah.
on. Let me pause, everybody. Where it's
Okay.
echoing from.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me pause, everybody. Shannon, do you have me opened up on another device?
I got you open, but I got it muted on the regular YouTube.
I don't know where else it's coming from because I only have it open in StreamYards.
On the regular YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry. It is. I forgot I got two browsers open.
Oh, the jackhole.
I'm good now. I'm so used to opening Safari on Mac, and I'm in Chrome. My bad. My bad.
It's all good. So, everybody, welcome to the show, the Marlene Saunders Show. And today we're going to be talking about this younger generation, these millennials. So, let me get right into some of this information that I found. And we're going to talk about these millennials. Hold on one second, everybody, for me to pull up this information. So, what is a millennial? A millennial is someone who is born from the 1990s to the early 2000s. And this generation is typically defined by those who were born from 1981 to 1996. Now, what are some things that are characterized by these millennials? Those who were our Generation Z are born from 1997 to 2012. Millennials are from 1981 to 1996. Generation X is born from 1965 to 1980, and baby boomers are those who were born in 1955 to 1965 and 1964. So it's important to find out about all of this information because sometimes we get, back and forth and there's differences, and we want to have this real conversation and find out why do the younger generation act the way that they act, and what are some of the differences. I am from that generation. What is it? Not a Z. I am the one that is from 1965. Hold on, let me pull that information back up.
Generation X.
Yes, I'm Generation X.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're Generation Y. So, sure, Shannon, let's get into this topic. Okay.
Yeah.
So, some of the major differences that I see just from seeing the millennials is I find that the millennials, they all are always looking for an easy route out. Now, this is a disclaimer. If you are easily upset, click off this video. If
Yeah.
you're easily offended, click off this video. See, because we're gonna have a real conversation, okay? So for me, I find that it's like they don't want to ask for help. They feel that they know everything, like a know it all kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I don't know something, I am not ashamed to say, hey, I need some help. Can you help me? But they'll go and mess up everything, and then they'll expect you to bail them out. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to add to that, Shannon?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like they got their hard heads, just don't want to listen. It's like they'd rather see it blow up and happen in their face, then it finally kicks in. But they have to go through it, versus listening to somebody. Like with my grandma, I've always, listened to her advice. That's the I never really turned down any advice when people telling me something. Even maybe sometimes maybe if I didn't want to hear, but I still would, give them the respect and listen. You know what I mean? I still would pay attention. As I got older, there's a lot of that stuff is coming back. It's like I really was paying attention, to the stuff they were saying. It all comes back to me, as I got older. I didn't realize how much I was paying attention. Just sitting there, just listening. Like 'cause my grandma always said, she would never steer you wrong. She was right, because I was like, man, I said a lot of stuff that has happened. I said, like, man, grandma was really right. Yeah, grandma was right all the time. It's just like, the situations, that never that happened, then it comes back reflecting what grandma was saying to me, you know. And,
Yeah, I've never been like that. I've always been one that if somebody is telling me something and it's like it makes logical sense, like
yeah,
if I don't know how to do something and someone is trying to tell me how to do something, I'm not going to be like, "Oh no, I don't need any help." I'm
yeah,
going to listen to someone who's wiser and has more experience, and I find that like it's like a trait of the millennials, like you cannot tell them anything because they know everything.
yeah. It's like I try to find a gem in something, even if something might seems boring or something, a topic somebody might be talking about or whatever. I call it, I try to still find the gem in it out of it, regardless how bad it might be. I still keep my ears because it might be something that might I could pick up on, be useful for me, a tool or whatever, information.
Right, we can always learn something
Yeah.
from others, and we have to learn to be open and listen to what somebody else has to say.
Mhm.
And I get it, when you're younger and you go through things in your life, I think everybody has been through that where you think that you know so much. But when somebody is telling you something and you really don't understand something or know what you're talking about, you
Yeah.
got to be open to listen to somebody who's older than you.
Yeah, you're right about that. And well, like I was telling you earlier, me and my LA Gravy at work. Oh my gosh, we have not just me and him, but a lot of us. We have those heavy conversations about the millennials and the Gen Zs all the time. Me and Jennifer talk about it all the time. Like I get tired of this thing, like where you see. Oh, matter of fact, it was early this week in my stream. Me and Patrick started talking about it, where everybody got their phones like all the time, especially here in the people going across the street. The young kids, they face right in their phone, not paying attention to the sideway, the sidewalk, for cars are coming. I get sick of because they're so busy with the AirPods on and they busy in their phone, they not looking both ways. I say I get so sick of that where I gotta be the defensive driver. I gotta pay attention because I feel like I'm a babysitter for these kids out here, because they don't have sense enough to watch the road, because they're so busy into their world with their phone and not paying attention to their surroundings, with
Trust me, I get it. I
mm.
get it, sure, Shannon, because it's like you, they can't do two things at the same time. And I'm not saying this to like throw shade at them, but I don't understand that part. Like, if you're telling them to do something, they have to be like, hold on, what did you say?
I know the attention and oh my gosh, the attention spans. It's like
Their attention span is so short.
that burns me up. Like we is consistent at these fast food places. I get so sick of. I tell me and Patrick, I'm telling you, I got so much ammunition. Good thing that Patrick ain't on here because we're really go raw dog on here.
Yeah, where is Patrick?
He's at work today.
Oh, he's at work. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like at these fast food places, I tell Jennifer, I say these kids got some really short memories. I cannot honestly believe their short term memories that short. They can't recall that quick. Like every time we order something, now I can understand you like it's basic. You might miss a few things, a napkin and a straw, but it's consistent with them. It's like they such in a hurry to give you their food, give you the food, they forget your change or they forget you because I had to go knock on the window now. Hey, you forgot my drink. I have to remind them they the ones working because I tell them I feel like they such in a hurry to get things out of the way so they can get back to they doing. Say like maybe I don't know, getting on their little Facebook, checking their likes, who like their pictures. I'm so sick of that. To get back to who likes them or get back to their little conversation,
Yeah.
you know. Oh my gosh, the kids driving through the walls. Like I'm so glad I'm not part of this generation. I really am because I'll jump off a cliff for our part of this
I think I wouldn't claim it. I would be like, I would say I'm a little older.
yeah.
Okay, this is what Pandy has to say. She says, "Baby, don't get me started on the younger generation. I have 30, 25, and 21-year-olds. They are very opinionated."
Oh my gosh, that's the thing. Everybody got opinion now. Like, you know, I never seen a big flood like the floodgates when the pandemic hit. Everything was full. Everybody was also all of a sudden COVID expert. What to do? Doctors. They're like disclaiming everything. Doctors. I'm serious. I never seen so many videos. People had all this expertise advice. Not even a doctor. Nothing. Just posted videos. And a lot of it was like false misinformation. I said, "Oh my!" Like Facebook doctors. Oh man, I want to just
Yeah, or the ones that will diagnose themselves, like they'll get like one symptom and then they say, "Oh, I have this disease."
oh my gosh! I was
Oh,
like,
I've seen it because I work in the medical field. They'll say something like, "Oh, you don't have to worry about going to no doctor. This is what they have." I'm like, I'm not getting behind that. You ain't gonna get me in trouble.
I don't know. It's like,
Let the doctor diagnose them.
yeah,
That's not me.
I know
Mm-mm.
everybody's a doctor. It's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's like, where do people get this stuff from? But I'm serious. When that 2020 hit, it was to the point where it was hard to get on YouTube or social media, Facebook, because everybody kept constantly just going hard, posting stuff about for COVID to take like every different kind of remedies for COVID and this and that. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I'm amazed. It's like everybody drinking that Jim Jones Kool-Aid in 2020. I'm serious. It's like,
Oh, and everybody on Instagram, they all think that they're Instagram models.
oh my gosh, I'm so sick of that. I want to go in there and put them all on blast. I don't want you to go
Well,
back.
I tell my nephew, like, and I love my nephew because that's my nephew, but I'm like, listen, I said, that's not life. Like everything that they do, I mean, everything they do from they wake up, they have to say, they have to take a picture of it. I ate this for breakfast.
Wow.
I did this. Every move they make, I did this. Okay, I'm going to work. If they got to post on Facebook, they got to post on Instagram, they got to go to TikTok. Oh, and don't even get me started on all these TikTok dances that they're doing. And some of them, they don't even know what they're doing with those TikTok dances. And I'm saying to myself, that's not a new dance. We did that in 1987.
I'm serious. I get tired of Instagram. Keep posting these new Instagram IG models. I'm sick of it. It's like, I started noticing this like back even like 10 years ago. Oh, I'm sick of it. I guess Instagram standards must be low. Everybody can be a model because it's like, man, it's like it obviously don't take much. I guess you show a little skin or something, you get enough hits, boom. Oh, you're a model. You just come right off the street, put some new clothes on, brush your teeth, comb your hair, bam. Oh, you're a model now. Oh, I don't know. It's
Oh yeah, I got it. They'd be like, and I got it.
oh, another thing is lazy like work. I see it all the time. Like especially what I do. I see some of the younger guys. Matter of fact, at Walmart, some of those Walmart workers. Oh my gosh! Like a few years ago, we went to Walmart to the deli to get some meat. So I was looking, and I saw the two young guys. I was gonna come over there. They just laid back, chill. The lights were kind of dim, like make it look like they weren't open, but they were. And I came over there, so I was saying, I want to get some sandwich meat. And you should have seen their faces, like, oh, it was just killing them. But see, I already saw right through them. They just sitting there, just trying to collect the check, not do no work. Hopefully, lay back, nobody won't come over there and bother them. Just sitting on the clock, making free money without working. That burns me. I don't like lazy people. I have zero tolerance for that. Because I'm gonna go in, day out. I'll give you 100% every time I'm going in, even when I feel bad or what. I'm still gonna give it 100. That's one thing you know in show business, they don't tolerate no laziness. Oh, I don't play that game. And like, you know what I mean? That,
I already know what you mean. I don't work in the show business, but in the medical field, there's a lot of hiding that happens with these millennials.
hmm
When work is to be done, it's like every time you want something done, you have to search for them. They're always hiding somewhere. Oh, I had to go to the bathroom. Oh, it's time for a smoke break. And guess
Oh,
what? They don't smoke. They
that,
don't smoke, but they take all their breaks, and then they have to sit down, and then they're just having conversation, and none of their work gets done.
yeah, it's like it's the same. I'm sick of that all the time. Got to take a smoke break or bathroom break just to get away or whatever. All constantly, it's like I'm seeing all the tricks. It's like my gosh, it's like why you even like sign up for this work? What I get sick of is like some of the ones who come to work come in for the call or whatever, and be like they be like the second they get there they ready to go or they want to know when is lunch. Oh my gosh, are you serious? We just got
Yeah,
here.
and as soon
Yeah.
as they get there, they're asking, when is my break gonna be?
My thing. Why don't you just stay
Ah,
home? It's so frustrating. I wish they. Oh Lord, I'm serious. It burns me up bad, But I try not to let it bug me, but it kills me. It's like, why you even here? Because I get tired of the whining. I'm serious. These grown people that need some pacifiers. I get tired of whining like little babies. I'm talking about people, 30s that work, younger than me, 30s or something, even 40s or 50s. They start whining. It's like, man, just go home. But something like the house guys at the like at the centers and whatever, the center, the convention center, they won't put up with it. They'll tell you, they'll send you right on back home. They don't put. I'm glad some of the, the head leads people don't put up with that. Put up with the
and
wine.
you can't, because at a certain point, like honestly, when it comes to the hiring process, I hate to say it, but the best employees are 35 and older.
hmm
Yeah, I don't like to class all, because there are some exceptions,
Yeah.
of some that, come from a hard work ethic, but I think it's the ones that are the minority are the ones that, their parents didn't put up with anything, like they didn't let them get away with it, because I've seen a lot of the millennials that, like, they expect for their life to be easy. And anytime something doesn't go the way they want to, they want to give up, or they're ready to quit and they want to go home. You got to be strong. You can't just be like, okay, throw in the towel every time something goes left.
No, you gotta have thick skin. It's like I noticed that too. And this generation is way sensitive. I mean, it's like
Sensitive. That's not even the word. It's not even sensitive. They're babies.
yeah, babies. It's like was it last year? Patrick pointed out. I saw it too. The guy went to I think to Subway or something for his sandwich, and he didn't get mayonnaise on it or something. He pulled out a gun and shot the employee. I was like, "Are you?" It's like
Wow.
I'm serious. There are people it don't take much. No, the slightest little drop to trigger them. It's like I told Jennifer it's hard to just being around people now because everybody, they like random, just but it still don't stop me from going out and doing my thing and doing what I got to do. But it's crazy that people are just on the edge like that. They just don't have no control or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like their mindset. It's like it's ready. It don't, and they just ready to go at
They're
any time.
triggered. They're
Yeah.
triggered. And what I notice that I don't like about the younger generation is that they're very like not, I wouldn't say sensitive, but it's like you can't tell them anything, you
Mhm.
can't explain anything, and they're not going to listen to anything that you have to say. And they love to argue. That's the
Oh,
thing that I cannot take is they love to argue,
yeah.
and they don't know what they're talking about.
Talking loud and saying nothing.
And
Talking.
I'm just like, are you kidding me or what? Are you kidding me? And like I have my nephews and my nieces and I'll be telling them something. They don't know what they're talking about. I've been dealing with this like for over 20 something years and they're saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's new." No, that's not new. That came out in 1988.
But
And
that,
they will fight me to the ground and say that they're right.
hmm yeah, they
Mm,
can't. That's what it is. It's like they can't take defeat. It's like even with this generation when it comes to video games. I don't know how many times I've seen it where was it? It was like Madden football for they had to play video game tournament for the football game, and the guy he seemed kind of weird or strange, but they and see at those video game tournaments they trash talk one with the football game. So it came back. The guy came back later. He came back and shot up the convention, the gaming convention. It happened a few years ago on you can look I can't you can look it up. It's the Madden football tournament. Yeah, the guy came back. He shot the people at the gaming convention, and then he turned around and turned the gun on himself. But I've seen it also where other gamers where they pull stunts because they so sensitive. Like they people if people they trash talk people, but when people trash talk them back on the games, then all of a sudden they get offended. They can't take it. So I've seen it where they pull it where they pull calls where the police would come to their house, squads, whatever, police come to their house or whatever because all of a game, but I've seen them gamers take it that far online, you know.
yeah,
It's
I think it's because honestly, they come from a microwave society, and I
yeah,
can say that because I remember when we just started getting microwaves in our house. I want to say that was like the 80s at some point.
yeah,
And I remember and it is convenient to get things quick, but I know what it's like to use a stovetop because that's what I was raised with.
yeah,
But if you were used to always getting instant gratification, I get it what I want right now,
yeah,
then they've never had to be patient. See, that's the difference with the younger generation and the older generation. We didn't have any other choice but to wait, so we
yeah,
don't have a problem waiting. Whereas if you get everything how you want when you want it, and it has to be perfect or you fall apart, then that's that's how it is. And I don't like that. I think we're raising a society of people who are not responsible. That's not everyday reality as an
yeah,
adult. Things are going to fall apart.
yeah.
Mistakes are going to happen. You have to be mature enough to say it's okay. Like it's not the end of the world if you don't get mayonnaise on your sandwich.
I know. Yeah, it's but yeah, like you're saying, babies, and it's like, yeah, everything is they want everything handed out to them. Don't want to work. It's like what? The first time I actually recall working hard, I was in the fourth grade. But I tell everybody, I still remember it. I wasn't happy about it. Grandma, she would go outside and chop the little wood, for the wood stove, and she would go around the house on the side and chop it. And we had to come down the stairs and get it and stack it. And she got on us too, make sure we stacked it right too, and made it neat in there. I remember I was so mad because I wanted to play. I was so mad at grandma. Oh my gosh, I was mad. I couldn't cuss, but I was mad. Oh Lord.
Mhm.
But then I was so mad from that day. But as I reflect back on that, I'm glad I'm glad she did make us do that and stayed on us, just showing us some hard work, what hard work is. That's like,
Yeah.
man, because it's like I still reflect on that. So she kind of like instilled it into me all as well. My mom, my folks, my mom always say, work hard, save up, get the things that you want, all that kind of thing. But yeah, God,
Yeah, and my parents never used to play, especially my dad, because my dad used to be a police officer in Jamaica, so he has his years of like kind of, I guess you could say, kind of like military training or
mhm,
that kind of strict, rigid, like everything should be this way.
yeah.
So, like when I would do my homework, when you're a kid and you're just trying to hurry up and do your homework so you could go watch cartoons, and my dad looked at it, he's like, "What is this chicken scratch?" And he just took my paper and tore it up and said, "Do it again."
Ooh-wee. Yeah.
And I thank my dad for that because I think about that sometimes, even though he's no longer living. He always told me, if you can't give something your 100% and do it to the best of your ability, then don't do it at all.
Wow. Right.
And my dad didn't play. And he says, and he would look at me and he would like, well, I think that is her best. But if he knew you could do better,
Mm-hmm.
if he saw something amiss, he would just knock it over and say, do it again.
True. That's what they need. That old school teach. These kids need the big mom. The grandmas from the old school and the granddads. The parents. Because nowadays I feel like some of these parents just don't care. Like going to the grocery store. I don't get it. Kids on one side of the store, parents way down on the other side of the store, letting their kids run around. It's like, where are the parents? They like, especially at Walmart is a great example of
It's
that.
a jungle.
Yeah. And they kids, letting the kids just run around, just screaming and playing with toys, tearing stuff up and it's on the floor. Cause every time I'm trying to go check out something at Walmart, say maybe like looking at the Hot Wheels or something, I see stuff already ripped open. It's like, man, these parents just don't care. And like they'll let their baby sit there and cry and cry and cry and won't stop.
Yes. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah.
I think that's a really big issue. I see that all the time. Like
Mm-hmm.
these younger girls, having babies, and I
Yeah.
get it, it's difficult. And most of the time they're single parents trying to
Mm-hmm.
raise these children, but like they don't even have the concern to like comfort their child, like it's going to be okay, or try to give them a bottle or give them a pacifier. They just look at them like, whatever, just shut up.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, I want to do. They think that's cute, If they think it might be cute now, wait till they get like 15 or 16 and on the 10 o'clock news. Then it ain't so cute when they wish they would have done something when they was a little baby. If they taking control of them. Then but that's it all starts from home base.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything starts from home base. And I know that when I was growing up, my mom used to always tell me, I am your mother. I'm not one of your little friends.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that that's a big issue now with the
Mm-hmm.
younger parents sometimes is they allow their children to be their friend. They're trying to please them, and they're living out their youth that they didn't have. So they're not parenting their children. And of course, if they're not parenting their children, of
Mm-hmm.
course, you got another generation of kids that don't have like their grandmother or grandfather, and those people are essential to growing up healthy children in society, because you need to have somebody be like, hey, what you doing,
Yeah.
and pull you up by your bootstraps and say, what you doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know, and I didn't always have that from grandparents because I didn't grow up with grandparents, but I had people in my neighborhood that was like, Merlin, what you doing,
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Yeah.
do that. And even things like that, like now, if you talk to somebody else's child and tell them, hey, don't run in here, they'll be like, they'll cuss you out.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Pandy.
Oh.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
What's up, Andy?
What's goody? I said, "Ooh, I can jump in this conversation right yeah."
Okay, Pandy, we'll let you have the floor.
OMG.
Oh, hold on, Pandy. I think there's a little feedback. Do you have another tab open?
No, I closed the YouTube.
Oh, I don't hear it now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to hop in and chime in. I just finished my live and I was like, oh, let me get over here to Marlene's.
Mm-hmm.
So I was agreeing with you guys because I have younger children who are now young adults.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been there, done all that. And baby, I was not the one to let my kids run all around the store. They already knew.
Right.
They get that look. You better get it together or I'm going to embarrass you the way you're trying to embarrass me. But it is very different now. It is very different now. You see it in the workplace with the work ethic. And it's just like, I'm only 48, so I don't really consider myself to be super old, but the generations under us are definitely different.
Yeah.
They
Right.
definitely different. It is a lot of the microwave thinking, and they're just not all of them, but a large majority of them, they're not really willing to wait on things. And if you don't do it the way they want you to do it,
Mm.
it becomes this instant disrespect.
Yeah.
Yep.
you know
Yeah, and they feel, most of them feel that they're owed something. I always
Mhm.
say that to my nieces and nephews, like, who told you that things were just going to be easy? They want to, okay, for instance, like when they wanted to get their first car, they want to get a Lexus. I'm like,
Okay,
boy, if you don't go have a seat and go on and look at some Toyotas,
okay, you better get you a little bucket first.
a little hoopty.
Get you a little hoopty. That's gonna be your best memories right there.
I don't understand that because I didn't grow up that way. I've been working since I was probably 12, 13. Babysitting other little kids, and I used to go
Mhm.
and get groceries for like the older women in my community. I always had like a little side job. And it's like now they don't even like about 18. It's like, aren't you going to get a job?
No, and that is so crazy because they'll be like still in mommy and daddy's house, but they know everything. They can tell you about everything, but they ain't paying their bill. Might be paying a cell phone bill, but barely even that.
Shoo-wee, the
You know?
bones. Yeah.
I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But like Shannon was saying, it all comes back to the parents.
Yeah,
Because even if you could have somebody who is a younger generation, a millennial, and they could be raised properly, and that's because it comes back to how they were parented by their parents, grandparents, or some older figures in their family that didn't tolerate their foolishness.
exactly, exactly. And piggybacking on that too, what Shannon was saying, like my grandmother was matriarch of the family. Like, okay, yeah, you listen to your mom and dad, you listen to your aunties and uncles, but it was really like that final word. It was an unspoken thing when the grandmama stepped in and said what she had to say.
Right.
And you play with her if you want to. You might be picking yourself up off the floor.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't even go there. It was just this level of respect. And the younger generation, they just don't have that. I was looking at somebody's shorts the other day and they put a video up of it was a classroom setting and you could see the girl looked like she may have been about maybe 16, 17, and the teacher was trying to get her to calm down.
Right.
And the girl was just all up in her face, neck rolling, talking all crazy and slick to her. And of course, they were two African American people.
Right.
And the teacher was a woman. The girl was, they were both African American. And she was like, okay, you need to go out of my class. And the girl just hauled off and started punching this teacher. Now, I had to commend this lady for her restraint because I'm sorry, I would have wore homegirl out just to make an example. But she did a great job trying to, de-escalate. She tried to grab her and get her out of the class. And of course, all the kids were just all pumped up in the background. Ooh, ooh, ooh. They pulled out their phones and was recording.
Oh my.
And it was just like, this is what it become. This is the times that we're living in. Like, when we were in school, if the teacher told you to go down to the office, you just got up. You might have went out of there with an attitude, but you left and did what she said.
Yeah.
You definitely didn't just buck up on her and start swinging on her.
Well, I when I was in school, I don't know about y'all, but when I was in school, we still got spanked.
Mm-hmm.
I still got spanked in school. It was like, and the teacher didn't play. It wasn't. And the teacher, the thing about it is, when we got disciplined by the teacher, it was for a reason. The teacher just didn't come and discipline you. like they cared about you. They
Yeah.
knew what you were capable of, and they was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when they took that when they took discipline out of school plus prayer, I think the school system went downhill completely.
Yeah, yeah. When I was in school too, they used to paddle. They
Yep.
used to paddle the kids.
Yeah.
They had the big wood paddle, and that principal could turn you over and paddle you. Now, of course, I understand them removing a lot of that stuff because we do have people that abuse their authority.
Yeah.
But I just was blown away seeing that video of that girl attacking that teacher like that. And I mean, I just don't even understand how she contained herself to not hit the girl back.
Yeah.
It was just like, this is crazy. And this is why there's a shortage of teachers.
Yeah.
Who is really going to be jeopardizing all their educational credentials to
Right.
go up in here and deal with somebody's bad behind churn, you
Mhm.
know, and be abused, beat up on?
And they always blame the teachers for everything when it all, like we said earlier, it goes back to how they've been parented, because even the parents will come in there, and then of course you can see the parents most of the time are more ghetto than the kids.
Exactly. That's where they get it from.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like the parents don't want. I'm serious. The big thing I know is accountability. I do not see enough of it. I don't see enough. It's like the adults don't want to take ability for their kids, because of what they're doing. Like you were saying, Pandy, then the kids so quick. I'm so sick of that. Or not even at the schools, but in general, when people are fighting, people first thing they do, they pull out their phones. I see it all the time. Like you see that like videos at Taco Bell or McDonald's. The girls will pull, or whoever's fighting will pull the whoever's at the service window will pull them
Hmm.
out and ready to fight. Or matter of fact, good example. This happened last summer around July. That Taco Bell incident. Did y'all hear about that? Where so the ladies, I think the lady and her niece, the aunt and niece, went to Taco Bell late at night. And so they got the order. So when they checked it, it wasn't right. So they looped back around or whatever. They said they didn't get it right. So the people on the inside said, come in, you know, and then they were going to try to get it right. But see, they show like I think the manager was already plotting, premeditated, had boiling water on the stove. So when they came in there and going to talk to them at the counter, the manager came out the gate with a hot pot of water and threw it on both of them. I think this happened last.
Wow.
I'm serious because
Oh,
like they were geared up, ready to fight out the gate. I was like, what kind of mess is that? That
that is crazy.
I'm telling you. And like I saw another video where family went and the wife and kids went to pick her husband up from the airport. So they have a nice day. So on their way home, they wanted to stop at I think was it Taco Bell or somewhere to get some food and so they got the order messed up a little bit. So the dad was willing to say, pay a little extra, just to cover everything, for what was messed up. He was willing, go out his way and do that. And out the gate, the girl got offended, that the order, because she didn't like it. So they said she went back and got her gun and she shot at the dad and the family in the van, so they had her spun off. Luckily, because the little girl who was in the back was where the girl, the bullets were aiming at. Luckily, she missed her and and they put her in jail for like maybe 4 or 5 days. I was like, are you serious? The girl I couldn't believe she pulled out gunfire on him because she got, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like me and Marlene were saying that people are so sensitive. It's like, if
Mhm.
you tell them they wrong, oh, they can't take it. It's like, my gosh, they gonna die. So they got to get you back for correcting them or just something simple. You know what I mean? It don't make no sense to me, but that's good
Yeah.
Lord.
It
That's
is so crazy.
I can't understand how you can be that way. Like, if
Yeah.
I don't know something or if I'm wrong, like I'll be like, I don't know, or I'm wrong. But like they are never wrong. They don't make any mistakes. And if you correct them, they're going to do something to you because they can't take being embarrassed. It's like they have to be perfect or something.
Like it's putting them to shame, which is not. It's just a simple, a simple problem. Whatever, you're just trying to correct it and make it right. The solution. Well, check this out. Patrick told me last year, dad and his daughter were walking through the park. So I guess a guy, it must have been a millennial or Gen Z person on the bike. I guess was riding by too fast. And like he was gonna bump him, the dad just told him, watch out because he was going too fast. He said the guy pulled a gun out and shot the dad just for saying something about that. I was like, are you serious? Yeah.
Oh my
But
goodness.
it's like I'm not a violent person, but sometimes sometimes I feel like you're gonna have to just fight fire with these, let them know you can be
Mhm.
you can be like my mom said, I can be just 10 times crazy as you. I can, I mean if them Gen Zs want to take it there, I mean they don't have no power over anybody. I can be just as crazy as you and I can bring it straight to you if you want it like that,
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. And nobody trying to escalate it to that point, but don't play with me.
Yeah.
Like, calm down. Like, they can't, and I hate to say they because I don't want to generalize
Right.
every younger person, but it just seems like, I don't know, it does definitely start at home.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's like when you're out in public or whatever. I saw another video. I see a lot of this on YouTube because I'm always, going in different areas on YouTube, checking out different videos. And a lot of times you'll see, like, I was watching somebody, I don't even remember whose channel this was, but the guy was live. He was at his gym and he was on his live. I guess he was just getting ready to head out. He had finished his workout or whatever. And he was in there near the pool area and his bag and stuff was on the ground. And so this other guy comes walking out and instead of stepping over the bag,
Yeah.
he walks all on the bag. He's dripping wet from the pool. And so the guy who's live stops to say, hey, man, could you, like, you see my bag right there. Like, could you just not walk all over my bag? And he goes back to speaking to the live. And this guy had them walked all the way off, but I guess he must have thought about it. And I guess he was offended by it.
Yeah.
He comes back and he makes this big scene and it turned into this whole big thing. And I'm just like, now see, what was he supposed to do? Was he supposed to just be okay with the boy blatantly walking on his stuff and not say nothing to him? And he didn't say it disrespectful or aggressively. But this person just decided, I guess, in a few seconds that he got a way to think about it. Oh, no, I'm not a punk. Let me go over here and let him know. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
And something like that could have escalated to somebody getting shot, killed, beat up. It's crazy.
The ego is like I get sick of that because I'm so sick of that. I ain't a punk and all that. I get tired of it. If I see a situation, I'll just try to walk away from. It's not. I rather come home with. I'm gonna be there. I'll be a punk and still go home, but I ain't gonna let no no dumbness, stupid stuff cause me to take me down because of somebody else. Hey, let them call me a name. Don't bother me. Still, as long as I go home and be safe, you know what I mean. Call me whatever you want, but I ain't gonna. Because that's
exactly.
I swear, it's like that's the new game now. Trying to just make it home in one piece.
Oh my God, you ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. And it used to not even be so much. Like having two young adult sons that are no longer under my roof, they live on their own. I'm constantly worried about them because every time I turn on the news, look, we just saw, what's the boy's name in Tennessee? Tyree Nichols.
Yeah.
We saw that foolishness play out. And so I'm constantly worried about my sons making it home, and are they going to be, ended at the hands of law enforcement? That is something that I should not have to worry about. And then it's not even that because my youngest is a girl, but even with myself, I am to the point now where I don't like to be out driving at nighttime because I'm in the South and I just, there's all these preconceived notions like it, man, it can happen to a man or a woman. It's not just the men that are becoming the targets. And then here's the other thing that I wanted to add on to that.
Right.
We are all on social media. We know that in order to grow, we have to get out here in these YouTube streets and network. We got to visit other content creators' platforms and kind of, now it's to the point where I am so dang paranoid and nervous about dropping into people's chats
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know what kind of drama they got going on. I don't know if people are
Mhm.
stalking their chats from the bushes to see you in there and then come at you because they got beef with them. I'm just like, listen, I ain't got time.
Yeah.
I ain't got time
You-
for this foolishness. So I guess that means I'm gonna grow slower because I ain't dropping off up in everybody's chat
Yeah.
because you just don't know
Exactly.
what kind of foolishness they're entangled with. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have people coming at you behind some mess that you don't even know about. You just being you out networking. And then you got these people that you thought were okay with each other, but then you find out now they're falling out. So then it's like, okay, do I continue to go over here and support this person? Or do I go over here and support this person?
Yeah.
Because all this mess is playing out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what I learned, Pandy, is I just go in and I just say, "Hey, I left you a thumbs up," and I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to do. Like I'll come in and speak, and then as soon as it starts going left, I tip out with the one church finger, like bye.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
all right, y'all,
Yeah.
peace. Because I ain't got time because I'm telling you, it has taken so much for me to get to the place where I am not on here cussing like a sailor. Okay.
Mhm.
And I am trying to be kind and trying to be courteous to everybody and respectful. But baby, please don't push me.
Right.
Mhm.
Please. Please.
And what I had to learn too is that coming from the medical perspective, um, I know what mental illness looks like, and
Yes.
I just and I know as soon as I see it now. Like I don't like to categorize people because they'll be like, "Oh, I ain't got nothing wrong with me," and I'd be saying to myself, like, "Listen, I think you may want to get."
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think you may want to get diagnosed because some people like they really got that bipolar or schizophrenic,
Oh yeah.
you
Yes. I
know.
agree. And even going back to what you guys were saying about the pandemic,
Right.
we know that the pandemic brought a lot of new people to social media.
Mm-hmm.
We start seeing all kind of new channels coming on because people were what? We weren't able to work. We were on lockdown in most cities and states. So people started flocking to YouTube, Instagram, all these places trying to make, some type of extra money on the side during that time. And what really did become clear is that there is definitely a lot of undiagnosed mental illness running rampant. And because I do have a medical background as well, I'm definitely not giving um, medical advice or trying to diagnose anyone. I'm just giving my honest opinion of my observance. And it's like, oh my God, you know what? This is not a place for you to come and think, oh, well, I'll just vent here. No, you need to get some professional help and figure out how you need to redirect that mess because
Right.
you attacking everybody and coming at everybody. That ain't the way.
Oh my, I see it
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah, like you were saying, because all of this, I never seen so many people. These videos where these girls are constantly venting. They might be bipolar or whatever, but they always constantly venting. And then there's people who be in there and trying to give them advice, this and that, or it's like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I get sick of it, or they gotta, or not just dealing with mental illness, but like I've seen like a lot of females or guys, they come over here, they gotta vent about their problems, like divorce or husband cheating. They ready to flip that phone on and start talking about it. I was like, oh, that's like
Mhm.
like Marlene was saying, people want to share it. They share. Me and Patrick kind of, well, I didn't say get into it, but I told him I think people I don't like. I'll share some little stuff, but people I see too much sharing like on Facebook. They gotta show you everything, showing what they
Yes.
do, and see at the same time they giving it away for like who they never know who's in the bushes watching because they
Exactly.
know they routine. They
Yeah.
can come in and rob you or
The
whatever.
oversharing. You
Yeah.
are so right about that, Shannon. Let me tell you, because the flip side, I have seen the flip side.
Yeah.
They'll be on a panel and it'll be a group of them and they all so-called friends, right? But I heard a wise content creator say, there are no friends on YouTube. But guess what? I don't necessarily agree with that because there are some genuine friends on here, but for the most part, and
Mhm.
particularly with the younger generation, you'll see these panels, right? They're
Yeah.
doing their thing, they're co hosting, they're producing, but baby, when Mad Day comes, the one that fell out will go live and they will spill all the tea
Oh my
on
God.
that friend
Yeah,
that was
all their business.
spill all the
Mhm.
tea on the one that was oversharing. And guess what? They got a whole crowd mess around and have 1K up in their chat because they're telling all that person's business that they were sharing with them when they were so called friends. I see that a lot
Yeah,
on
you know.
social media. And it is
Mhm.
crazy because I can't even imagine
Hmm.
being that person whose business is getting laid out. And they make it into a whole presentation. It'll be like a whole little mini series, like a little movie or something. They'll have
Mhm.
receipts up there, they'll have pictures up there, they be recording each other's phone conversations. And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
and they took
oh my
and have
God,
screenshots, or they like to call receipts.
right. I have seen it.
Yeah, I've
I'll
seen
be
it
in the
too.
bushes like, OMG. My mouth be wide open like, wow.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And
And,
you
and
were
and
over
I'm
there
glad to I'm
sharing.
not glad that they're doing that, but I like to find out when somebody is that way because it tells me who I need to stay away from. Because if they did that to somebody else, it's only a matter of time before they'll do it to you.
Yeah.
Exactly. You are so right about that. Cause honey, I be blocking. I be blocking from the bushes like, don't want you ever coming over to my channel. Let me block you.
Mm,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
right about that.
And I'm just glad for the way that I was raised because I was raised, I guess you could call it an old school way, but my
Yeah.
mom always said, I'd rather, spank you, put you in timeout, take stuff away from you. Now, she said, I don't want any of my children to be in prison.
Yep.
My mom always said that. And she always said, and when you get there, do not waste your whatever. Back then, it used to be 25 cents. She said, don't waste your 25 cents calling me because I'm not going to help you.
Okay. Well, and that's what I used to tell my boys too when they were younger.
Yeah.
And I used to have to discipline them, and they thought I was so hard. Even my oldest son, he used to complain because he's like, Mom, you're not as hard on the other two like you used to be with me. And I'm like, well, first of all, you were the oldest. So, and I was a young mother. So I'm raising you the way that I was raised. And the reason why I'm so hard on you is so that the police don't have to get in there and do anything. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If I don't do it at home, then I don't have to worry about law enforcement coming in and doing it for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
dude, you ain't gonna understand when you're young, but you gonna appreciate when you get older. Trust and
Mhm.
believe.
Yeah.
Because I
I'm,
used to be the
I'm,
same way when I was a kid. Like, dang, y'all don't never let me do nothing.
Yeah.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
now I'm so glad for the upbringing that I had.
Yep. I already told y'all because I wouldn't say I was out of control, but I had a very big opinion
Okay, yeah.
on things. And I remember the day my mom lassoed me. The
No,
telephone cords that used to be on the phone, the long telephone cords, and I was like, whatever. And I started walking away. My mom roped that thing and brought me back and was like, listen, chick. And I was just like, huh?
oh, that is funny. Oh
Yeah,
my
but I'm
God,
glad that I got that because if my mom said if I don't rope you in now while you're out of control, she said there's no way I can rope you in later.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
It's so true. And you don't get the message when you're the kid at that stage.
Right.
But when
Hmm.
you look back on it some years later, you're
Hmm.
like, ooh, thank you, Lord. Because I've even had my oldest son, and I know I was hard on him. I mean, because I just didn't want him to become prey to, the next stereotype of the young black man. You know what I'm saying? So I was a little bit harder on him, and I did lax up a little bit more with the other two, but I was still hard on them as
Right.
far as trying to maintain order in the household. But when he just turned 30, I know when he was in his 20s, 21, 22, he done since got married and has two kids. But he has come to me at different points in his 20s and be like, Mom, man, now I get it. I
Mhm.
get it now. Now I understand why you used to do the things you did and why you used to say the stuff you said. I didn't get it at the time because he used to literally be having me ready to pull my hair out. Like,
Mhm.
why is this boy so hard headed? But
Mhm.
it was because his friends were able to do this, that, and the third, and he didn't understand why he couldn't do this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you ain't gonna be able to do everything your friends do.
Right.
I ain't your friend's mama. Okay, you gonna do what I say you can do till you get out on your own.
I know that's right. Well, my mom used to always tell it because my mom was old school. I had the older mother. When my mom passed away, she was 80 years old. So my mom was like my grandmother.
Yeah.
And my mom used to say, I don't care. Say if a kid comes in here, because one time one of the parents confronted my mom because my mom disciplined them. And my mom said, anybody who steps in my house, you
Mhm.
will be disciplined. And saying, you look like you need a strap taken to you too. She told their mother.
Oh my God.
So anybody who comes in here, you're gonna follow the rules, or you gonna get it too. And what you gonna say? And they was like, yeah. Mom was like, yeah, whatever, keep on walking. And they
And
came out
yeah,
too because they know that my mom cared about them.
exactly. And that is also the era that I come up in too. Like my mom, my grandma, my aunties, you could not bring your kids over if you had a problem with them being disciplined. Now, was they going to sit there and just beat on your kids to beat them? No. But
No.
what they wanted you to have a firm understanding of is while they're over here, if they act up, they going to get dealt with just the same as mine,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know?
Mhm.
And that was a natural thing. I mean, it was just something that we knew. If I went over to one of my friends or one of my cousins, I couldn't show off over there just because I'm not at home. I would still get my behind tore up
Yeah.
and get it tore up again when I got home.
Yep.
Get double though. Get
Okay.
That's
double.
what that well in my family it was the worst because I had so many brothers and sisters. So I got it where I was. The teacher gave it to me. Plus, when I get home, my mama and all my siblings, I was like, this is too much.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if you know the rules, you're not going to do certain things. And I feel like now with this younger generation, people, the parents now are afraid to discipline their children because of the laws of the government. That oh,
Mhm.
don't touch me. If you touch me, I'm going to call the police.
Yeah, that made it worse.
And see, that's the thing too. I wonder because of that, not being able to punish their kids is why all these school shootings is going on. The cool kids running rampant, like they feel like
Mhm.
they can
Hmm.
run over anybody because parents can't touch them at home, so they feel like they're invincible. You know.
Yep.
Exactly. The kids actually weaponize it. They intentionally do disrespectful things. They talk disrespectful to the parents or adults that are, have care over them. And they use it as a weapon, like, I wish you would. I'll call them people on you. You see it. And so I agree with you. That is what we're seeing. All these school shootings and the kids jumping on the adults
Mm-hmm.
because the adults' power has pretty much been stripped by the government.
I
Yep.
still give them a two piece.
Who you telling?
Oh yeah, my mom used to always say that. Say, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I remember when they taught us in school that if somebody puts their hands on you, that's abuse. And my brother was like, 3 years older. So if I was in first grade, I think he was in fifth grade. And
Yeah.
I said, "Ooh, I'm gonna tell mama." My brother said, "Girl," he grabbed me up, said, "Girl, you gonna get killed." So you better keep your mouth shut. And I because in school they used to say everything was abuse, and you know,
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think my parents ever abused me, but according to today's system, they say that that's abuse. But also, we didn't have the high crime rate and all of this out of control, and I do think that that also has caused more mental illness because they don't control children too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it definitely contributed to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I,
It
I
is
don't I don't
really
even know what to I don't even know what to say. And what is the solution for this younger generation? I'm just like, this is what I'm supposed to rely on to take care of me in a few years. Oh,
Ooh.
I was like, oh my God.
Exactly. And then not even just the school stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys remember here where I'm at in South Carolina, the young boy went into the church during their Bible study and killed those 9 people.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's just like that was another example of this child. He was a young adult, but obviously he had to have started at some point being a troubled teen. You know what I'm saying? And then when you think about a typical black church, they open their doors to visitors. They were in there having Bible study, so they just took him as a new first time visitor coming to learn. And he just picked them off one by one. It was
Oh,
it was terrible. And it's like, okay, it's bad enough we got to be worried about driving at night or sending our kids to school if they're going to make it back home, but then you can't even go up into the house of worship
yeah.
without worrying about, or feeling like you need to have metal detectors at the door. It's just like, I feel like a lot of times we are really in the last days.
Oh yeah, especially because you know years ago when I was little, like elementary school, my grandma preached to me because she reads her. She got stacks of Bibles, and she believes in Jesus. She used to tell me, the Bible speaks of all this. She said, "You'll know when in our last days, like kids turning on their parents." Now she told me this when I was like in elementary and middle school. I was like,
Mhm.
"What's all of this?" I was even just trying to comprehend the stuff she was telling me. And you know what? As the stuff started happening, all that stuff Grandma told me from the Bible, everything I see it. Because I read the Bible myself, but she was in it. She was just scolding me. I was like, "Oh my gosh." All the things
Mhm.
she was
all,
telling me
all
about,
of these things are coming to
yeah,
pass.
and like the world, like my uncle and grandma would tell me, like when the world come to end, like when all the countries will come and I think together and try to go against another country and with fire and all of this. I'm seeing
Mhm.
all of that, and I was like, oh, and they told me this when I was in elementary and middle school. I was like, oh my gosh, because
Yeah.
they read my Uncle Dad and Grandma the Bible. I read it too. It's like it's crazy, but yeah, the Bible speaks of all of this stuff. It's like it's all come to pass, but yeah, it's crazy, man. I feel like like with the government won't allow the parents to whoop their kids, whatever. I feel like they use it as a weapon, make the kids into a weapon for all this more stuff. Like using the kids to turn, the younger kids, generation to turn, as a way of using it against society to take them out. Use the kids as weapons, because think about like those X-Men movies or superhero movies where they try to take little kids if they were a good superhero, like the bad guys would try to use them and turn them to the bad side, make them bad, to try to take down the good people, in the Marvel movies or DC stuff.
Mhm.
They kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. I definitely feel like violence contributes to how the children are because it's like every little thing they're right like it's like a hairline trigger. They're like ready. They're always triggered and ready, like at any moment to pop off.
Right. It's crazy. And then you really do see a lot of what the Bible spoke of
right.
playing out right in front of us in real time. It's crazy.
Yeah. Me and like this is like over 20 years ago. I was working. Me and this older guy named Tony. He probably like around in his 60s. He's probably like in his maybe his 40s. I was in my 20s. But we had this conversation, and I do remember like even then people like how they would do all these big mass shootings and they would kill school shootings. Then they would turn the guns on themselves and kill themselves. I told him I said they might have got away from the world with this, but I know who they. I don't care how bad these killers are, how bad they are when they kill, these school shootings. It's sad, but and they pull the guns on themselves. I know who they won't get away from. I don't care. You don't, at the end, at the gate, because I say it all the time. Brother Peter be at the gate waiting on you. Peter be right there waiting for you. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
that's one person you will not escape. I don't care how bad you think you are. They all gonna have to face the man. face to face. You
Yep.
know.
That's the thing is most of them, one of the things that I cannot stand, and I'm only 44,
Yeah.
and I find like really get angry when kids are telling their parents, you can't come in my room. I mean, it infuriates me. My face is even getting hot right now talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, you pay no bills in here. This is not your house.
Hmm.
Listen, that I don't even recall there ever being a situation where my kids have used that sentence towards me. But you watch movies and you see it, especially like when I'm at home on the weekends, I'm watching Lifetime, and they're like, I hate you. Get out of my room. And I'm like, I'm getting there with my power screwdriver and took that door off the hinges. Okay, you don't have
Mhm.
a room here.
Well, one day my mom said something to me and I slammed the door.
Yeah.
Next thing I heard, the all the knobs came off and everything. My dad said, "Now what door do you have to slam?"
Exactly.
It
Eh,
was over, and it was like I got upset because now I was like, my privacy is gone. He said, "Well, you should have thought about that before." That's a tough love.
that
Yeah.
is tough love. And the big difference is we actually like reverenced whatever the discipline was. Like if our parents said something, we knew they meant business. We knew they wasn't playing. We didn't go back with them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't go back and try to fight and keep going back and forth. You hear these kids cussing them out and jumping on them, putting hands on them, and I'm just like, ooh, that would have never been me. I First of all, I wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
I just wasn't crazy, and I had a level of respect and love. Now, obviously, I wasn't happy all the time that I got disciplined. I used to be pissed,
Hmm.
but I wasn't crazy enough to voice it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I was.
I was
I was the crazy one. That's why I used to be an entertainment for my family. But I learned after a while. I got tired of being punished and things being taken away. I got sick of it, and I said, I'm just gonna be quiet. And I would be mumbling. You know how like you said something, and I
Mhm.
don't know how you would be whispering it, and my mother would know exactly what I said. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how did you hear that?
They have them supersonic ears now.
Supersonic. So
And she
You
would be
try to
like
speak it
2
under
rooms
your breath.
away, and I would whisper something, and she would hear exactly what I said.
yeah.
Yes, they would catch it.
Mhm. And I said, there ain't no way, there ain't no way. And my brother said, I told you, dummy.
Mhm.
Oh, that is too funny.
You
Yeah.
know. You know. What I like on YouTube. When kids on like they be disrespectful to their parents and them dads who don't like it, they got them on. It's a whole thing of videos where the dad since they want to be smart, all this and that. So the dad, what he does, because the one thing they like is like they Xbox, whatever. He'll go in there and bust their TV, or he'll give them a big sledgehammer and make them bust their own PlayStation or game. And them kids be on the floor just crying. I be eating it, I just loving it, because they. Oh, I love. I said, good. It's like them dads who actually stand up to kids, let them know how serious they are, because they will go in there and get a hammer and bust their TV, game, everything. Them kids will break so fast. I think like that's the thing. You pull their technology, their phones and their pads. Oh, they will have a fit if they can't have their social media. That's the way you get
Mhm.
their attention. That's like it's crazy, but
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, we used to have the glass boxes. I don't know if my dad used to get those made and stuff, but the TV went in there and anytime we acted up,
mhm.
my dad would just lock the TV.
Oh wow.
So that was worse to me because you got a TV in your room, but you can't watch it.
Ooh-wee.
Now for me,
That was the worst.
because of course, yeah, these kids nowadays are so hooked on social media.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that, right? My biggest thing was I would get put on restriction. I mean, all I could do was go to school and back.
Oh.
My friends would be outside after school
Mm-hmm.
playing double dutch. The boys would be shooting hoops and all that. Everybody would be outside. It could be the summertime, everybody outside kicking it. I would be in the house looking out the window. That used to drive me insane.
Mm.
And that's what got me turned around. I wasn't one that always needed to get whooped. When I got whooped, it was because I really did something crazy. Now, some of my cousins,
Yeah.
I'm just like, you ain't tired of getting tore up? Like, you keep doing stuff.
That was me. That was me.
I'm like, honey, I got whooped a couple good times and I was over it. I was like, let me just fall back and do what the heck I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
See, but when I got to be a certain age and I started getting fast because I was running track with my brothers, I knew if I made it to my daddy, I was safe. And my mama knew that. So my mom knew she had to get me before she got before I got to the door because my dad would close and say, leave her alone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
And then, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Because it seems like, okay, now you notice whenever you hear about this stuff in the news or online, they usually always point back to, well, they came from a single parent household. Okay, I know plenty of single parent households that back in the day, still the mama didn't play. The mama did a good job with raising up their kids and was also a strong disciplinarian. But nowadays, you always see that being referred back to as the culprit to why these kids are acting out. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Well, I don't agree with that because my sister, she raised all three of her children as a single parent and they didn't come out like bad, but do see that they portray them as victim of their environment, like because
Mhm.
they did not have a father or they didn't have a mother around, that then that's why they were the way they were, and that's not true. But I will also say that sometimes I do believe that some kids, you could come from a wonderful parents,
Mhm.
wonderful environment, but some kids, they just want to do what they want to do because they're just incorrigible.
Right. I agree. That's my thoughts too. It doesn't even really matter because I know plenty of single parent households that raise wonderful children who've gone on to, go through life without any problems, go to college, graduate, and become successful young adults. And a lot of times, for me, in my particular church, a lot of the younger deacons would actually do like ministry where they would go to the single mothers and kind of nurture their young boys so that they were stand in role model, almost like father figures. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
put them in sports and kind of show them things that a man would do. You know what I'm saying?
Like Big Brother.
Yeah, like a big brother type of deal. So I don't necessarily always agree with that narrative that media tries to portray with regards to single mothers.
Yeah.
What do you
Mhm.
think, Sure Shannon?
Yeah, I agree. Like you were saying, it's like you can be single parent, raise your kids real good and everything, and they still I've seen that they still can turn out to be just as bad, even though you give them all the loving and care and worry, everything, do right by the kids and everything, they still can flip on you and still be bad. It's like it's crazy, so it's like you can come from a good home or a bad home, or a good home with a single parents, or either way it goes. It still can turn out bad, which I have seen. Because it was like a few months ago back home. Kid was a sophomore in high school, and he came from a good home and everything. I think he made good grades or whatever. And he turned around, he shot everybody. I think in his neighborhood, I think, or in his school or the neighborhood, and he even killed his own brother too. I was like, wow, you know,
Oh,
oh yeah. And my thing is, what gets me is how these kids get their hands on these firearms. Like, was it a few months ago? Was it a 3-year old or 6-year old? Did he shoot his mom or parent or something? Got a hold of a fire? No, he shot the teacher, I think, with the firearm at the school. I was like, it's crazy how these little kids, with the firearms all the time, like, manage to get their hands on an armed weapon in schools. It's like it does the. I mean, like, I know it's hard to watch the kids, but it's like, do the parents not, really are really in tune with their kids, or checking, like parents will go in your rooms and see what you're doing, what you got sneaking around, going through your stuff to see what you got. You know what I mean? Are they doing like
Yeah.
investigating their kids? I spy. Whatever.
No, I don't think they are. Now, when we were coming up, of course, they would be rambling all through our stuff. You could try to sneak something in their house if you wanted to, but no, I don't think they do because
Yeah.
what do we see these kids doing? Get out of my room.
Yeah.
You're in my room. Like they pay a mortgage or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I said that to my mama.
And it's like, girl,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. This is your space temporarily while you're under my roof. Okay. You don't own nothing up in here. Okay. As long as you are doing everything you need to be doing, which is going to school, maintaining your grades, being a productive young citizen, you can have the world, but you're not going to be disrespectful.
Right.
And it's just, that's the thing that be kind of driving me crazy and having me bewildered. I'm just like, what is with the level of disrespect? I know you are not going to always agree with most adults. I know you may not care for them or whatever, but must you be disrespectful to the point that some of these kids be?
Mm-hmm. And even here's another hot topic that I can't take. Okay, y'all get ready.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one I can't take, is when these little kids, maybe 3-4 years old, look up at a grown person and call them by their first name.
Ooh.
Ooh, my blood pressure is going up.
Yeah.
My blood pressure is going up because I can't take that at all.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with the upbringing because, like, my parents and family is originally from the South, but my grandparents migrated to Seattle, Washington in the late 60s. So most of us, my generation and younger, we were born and raised in the North, in Seattle, Washington, right? Wow. So if our friends would say, "Oh, that's my dad, John," we would say, "Oh, hi, John," and we thought we were being respectful. But whenever we came back home to down south, that's Mr. John, that's Miss Lily or whatever. You would put a miss on it or a mister, and you would say, "Okay, yes, ma'am," or "Yes, sir." But up north, it's a different upbringing.
Yep. Yeah, because I had my nieces and nephews, and they're like trying to call me Marlene. I'm like, your grandmother can call me by my first name because that's my sister.
Yeah. No,
but you cannot call me by my friend. And they're looking like, what? Say what? And I was like, yeah, because they live in New York, and they're like, oh, she don't know what she talking about, no, and all this stuff. I was like, and you better cut out that street talk because we don't talk like that in here. You use proper sentences, and they're looking like, yo, she's crazy.
No, no. It's auntie so and so.
Yes, it's auntie, yeah.
It's uncle. You just don't do the first name thing.
No, I don't do that. And I don't like that parents are letting their children call them by their first name. They're like, oh, come on, Linda, let's go.
That's different. That must be some new age stuff.
Yeah, that's the not Generation Y. I think is it Gen Z? Is that the ones that would be like maybe like 20? Is that
Gen Z? Wait, Gen X, Gen Z, or Gen Z is the last one, right?
Yeah, so I think so. I think it's Gen Z.
Yeah, because we're Gen X.
Yeah, I'm X.
Yeah, I'm Gen X.
And I was like, whoa. I said, and I'm looking all crazy. Like, did she just say Linda? And she's like, all of 4.
Oh, no. That is so crazy. I'm just sitting here thinking like, no, I think even when my kids were still in school, their friends would call me Miss,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Miss so and so. And sometimes it took me a long time when I moved back to the South,
Yeah.
and I would be at work and people would be referring to me as no ma'am and yes ma'am. And for a while, because I was in my 40s, it made me feel a kind of way because I was like, well, are they trying to say I look old? I'm not that old. But then my husband was like, it is a respect thing. That's all it is. It's just they're giving you respect. You are ma'am to them. You're older than them.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. Now I don't trip. I understand. But at first I used to be like, why are they ma'aming me?
Yeah,
Like I ain't
yeah,
50.
because now it's like they don't feel that they have to call you that. So, and I used to feel that some type of way, like when I was in my 30s and people would call me ma'am. And
Yeah.
my
Right,
best friend told me, said, "Girl, you earned that, ma'am.
right.
You earned that, ma'am. So take it. At least they're calling you ma'am and not a B word."
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is true. And it's, I guess, how you conduct yourself. But they are there is, and it's not all. I don't want to group all of the younger generation because some of them were truly raised right. They're very respectful, have manners,
Yeah.
but there is such a large majority that they look at us like, if you don't go sit down somewhere and get out my face, that's how they look. You can see it on their face.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's like that.
Yeah.
That Pookie and Ray Ray mentality I see a lot. It's
Yeah.
it's like, or what I'm the younger Oh my gosh, the younger generation too. I swear it's like an achievement. Getting a trophy for the baby mama and stuff like, or the guys with the baby mamas. I mean, it's like I feel like it's an achievement. If you got a bunch of baby mamas, I'm so sick of that too. Like it's like
Mhm.
are they giving out trophies or rewards and stuff for that now? It's like I think some people glorify that. You have your couple
Just
baby mamas.
spreading their seed all around.
Yeah, I mean
Yep,
that.
and yeah, like it's a badge of honor, and it's not. I've even heard someone made a song saying being a baby mama is a badge of honor, and I'm like,
Oh my god.
that's just not the way I was raised. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I don't think that. To me, that's like, no, that's disrespectful. I feel like that's
Exactly.
disrespectful. Why can't I be the child's mother? Why do I have to be a baby mama?
Yeah.
Right. And there's just it's so different because when we were coming up as a young girl, what my dream and goal was, oh, okay, I want to grow up, I want to have a family, I want to be married, I want to this, that, and the other. Now I know from some of my closest girlfriends, they wanted to grow up, they wanted to have children, but they didn't necessarily want to be no wife. Okay, and I got that too. But now it's almost frowned upon if you say that you are married with a family. It's like, oh, girl, no, because they look at it as a way of
It's a curse.
collecting money from this man. Oh
Yeah.
no, I got his kids. I got this, I got that, and I don't have to be the wife. And so it's so different.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, like you saying, like marriage is like, like it's a curse or you in
Mhm.
jail or chained down. It's like
And
versus,
it's not for everybody, but dang, is it really that bad?
yeah, it's more easier for people to have that mindset. They'd rather do the baby mama drama stuff than versus being married where stuff is constantly going. Your house is not at peace, that kind of thing. It's like I I don't get it, but that's the way they come. A lot of them want that now. They'd rather have that, it's that attention and stuff. I just get it's so sick of it. And then like I see it all the time where they like the more kids they have and stuff, the more money they get or whatever. I'm
Hmm.
so sick
Yep.
of that. So that
Yeah, and the people who actually need it can't get it.
I know
Right.
who gets abused, welfare. It's there to help you, but people get abused, and that's what makes it hurts everybody. When because you know people, a group of people just want to get together and abuse the system, get more money out of, it, and they just want to sit on their butts at home and not do nothing, just collect, the checks coming in the mail, versus the people like me, like us, we get out here and go and bust our butts, the taxpayers, So basically we paying a way for them to sit up on their butts at home and not do nothing.
Yeah, or to be on the people of Walmart waking up at 2 p.m. And to go in their bonnet and their pajamas to go get scrimps and everything else that they want that we can't afford to buy.
Okay. Oh, they'll be having 2 or 3 baskets filled up with crab legs and everything. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to budget my $100 cash. Like, what can I get for $100?
And you got to put stuff back, and they got 2 baskets full.
Right.
Oh, and the basket they use at Walmart, those Gen Zs or millennials, they be using the electric carts. Ain't nothing wrong with them. But
don't get me started on that, Shannon. Oh, that makes me so mad.
Ooh, they riding around. I be wanting to trip football. I'm telling you, I have to keep my. I'm saying it's so hard to keep my patience because it sucks. It's versus somebody who really needs that versus them just playing around. They think it's a fun. And the people at Walmart don't do nothing. They just sit back in their little corner. They just trying to get their money or what. I'm so sick. It's like Walmart. These franchises don't care how they do. The only thing that matter to them, they gonna still get their money regardless. They don't matter like how people do it. They don't, because they know people gonna steady keep coming. Like Patrick told me one time, him and his cousin went to Taco Bell, and they were sitting there waiting for the kids to take their order. So they had to say something. Then they had to wait for them to get their food cooked, whatever. But it's like they were just playing around the whole time. It's like, it's hard to find good service because I feel, it's like these places, especially when the pandemic hit. So now they will hire anybody that'll get the job done, at these food places or wherever, Walmart, Starbucks or whatever. Well, I've actually have seen good service. It didn't even matter at the pandemic, like Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. Those are like few places I never really have trouble with, because they organized, they make sure everything is right, they keep it going, moving. It's no conflict. When I'm going to those places, they keep order. It don't matter, time of day or what time of day it is. They keep things smooth, flowing really good.
Yeah, and I find that the biggest issue with all of this, I'm just sick of them saying blaming everything on supply chain issues. Everything is not supply chain issues. They just don't want to hire anybody. They're cutting back because things have gotten more expensive, but they blame everything on supply chain issues. And another thing that I don't like is that, like, I found like people, like, when they did all the 6 feet apart thing, like now that, okay, those things have, been, what is it called, downgraded. Now they're saying, oh, well, that's over. Okay, I respect you. If you don't want to wear a mask, can you respect my space and not be like right on top of me, breathing down my neck?
Ooh,
right.
Or if I'm at the ATM, I'm putting in my pin and they're looking at the pin. I can't take that. I'm just like, and don't blame everything on the pandemic. That's just rudeness.
That sets me on fire. Like you're at the bank, or if you're at the grocery line, you gotta put your card in, put your pin. Don't take when people are up close, they not paying attention, or they keep pushing their cart. Oh my gosh, I be want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, my hands want to. I'd say no. I keep my hands in my pocket. Don't do it. Don't slap them up. But
or they wait until they get up there. And then they're going to pull out, oh, where is my card?
Exactly. They're sitting there digging for their stuff. You know what really drives me crazy when I'm out in public places like that? Okay, I know most places have lifted the mask restrictions, right? But please, they're still walking through coughing and hacking all over the stuff. And I'm just like, well, maybe you should have on a mask because you're like coughing all over the place.
Yeah. And I got into it with this one younger boy. I think he probably maybe 16. And I'm there, and I have a special needs sister. and she doesn't understand things. And he's like yelling at her, "Move up! Why don't you move up?"
Yeah.
And my sister's older than me. I say, "You're not going to be disrespectful to her." Talk about, "Oh, what you going to do?" And he started cussing. You will be in this and this and this, and you all can go do this. And I was like, it's just so unnecessary.
Oh no. I would have been like, where's your manager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your
No, they
manager
weren't
in
an
here.
employee. They were in the line of the store just like me. But they were
Oh,
trying to push my sister to move forward. Let her take, if she wants to stand there, let her stand there. You ain't gonna talk about she's a this
Oh,
and she's a that. She's standing 6 feet apart like you're supposed to. That's what I told him.
I
And you
know.
can wait because I'm not gonna rush my sister because she is grown.
Yeah.
Okay.
exactly.
I hate that they always in a rush. People behind
Yeah,
you.
talk about hurry up. Why she don't move up? Why she come on, hurry up. I got to go.
Oh well, you be waiting.
You got to go. And the lady behind the counter, she was older. I guess she would be like a grandma, and she looked like she did not like that. She said, "Oh, you in a rush?" She started going even slower. I was like, "Good, go even slower."
Good.
And I was like, "Oh, I didn't see you had string beans." And he was like, "Oh my god."
I'm serious. Yeah, that's the thing too.
Make him wait.
Impatient people. I got plenty of patience, but I see it like we be riding down the road, and all of a sudden, people in a hurry. They gotta zip. I hate those cars that like they get from behind you. They start zipping in and out between lanes because they're in such a hurry to nowhere. It's like what call? It's like what is it? So you in a hurry to get to? I mean, I ain't in no bigger rush in my life to get killed trying to get somewhere, and not like that. No, it's like
No, they in a, like my mama would say, they in a rush to get to the red light.
That's what I was just about to say. You end up meeting them at the next red light.
yeah.
I look over at them like, oh, you really got somewhere, didn't you?
I look at them too. Yeah, I look straight up. I look them straight up, and they know I look. I sure do. You're trying to rush me. I tell Jennifer, she had to catch me sometime because I said I can go right there with you. I can flip the tables on and go right there with you, but I had to catch myself. I said it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. I had to let it go. But I look at them, yeah, but I can be just as crazy as you. I hate those people. They do that. They feel like they got power over people. Like you were saying, like the young kid was cussing at you with your sister in line, like they got power. You know, it's a two-way street. You know, some people they don't realize that. You know, the reality. You know, it's a two-way street. You can just come at him just as hard and be just it can,
And I did.
Yeah, it can turn out to be just as bad. You know, it's like they feel like they like I was saying earlier, they're invincible. They feel like nobody can do nothing to them. But there are people out there just 10 times as crazy as them. They just ain't came across the right one to do that. But,
Exactly. They ain't met their match yet.
Yeah.
There's always a match out there. And usually the match is crazier.
Yeah.
I'm very extra protective over my sister because she has special needs. And I was like, one thing you're not going to do is mess with elderly people and children with me because I don't play that. I was like, I said, do not yell at her and don't touch her. He was trying to push her with the buggy.
Oh,
see.
And I was like, ooh, I had to start going woosa woosa.
Yeah.
Take a few breaths because I was gonna clock him.
That's what they do at Walmart. They always constantly flying through those aisleways or Kroger. They always getting like they out on the street. It's the same mentality on the street, racing, trying in a hurry. It's at Walmart. And on top of that, it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much. I was going to say something else, but, just that mentality in a hurry. And like, I know it's all the time. It never fails. It never fails. I said, Jennifer, I know there are people that's handicapped. That's what the spots are there for. But every time I go to Walmart or somewhere, all the handicaps are always filled up, guaranteed. I actually wonder, all these people are handicapped. Is it possible or some actually done borrow somebody's handicap sticker just to get close to park? I'm serious.
No, but that you can get a handicap. You don't have to be physically handicapped. You can be mentally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you ride on the short bus, you can. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, half of the time, the cars don't even be having the little decal. They just be parked there. And I'm like, that's a huge ticket. Okay.
It's a huge ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna even take the chance, baby. Listen, I could stand to walk a few feet. I'll park right over here.
I know the
Mm-hmm.
lazy people, and on top of that, they love to park in that fire lane all the time at Walmart. Every time I said, "Are you mean to tell me you that lazy? You can't get your big butt out the car and go park and walk?" Oh, I be wanting to tell people off so bad. I told Jennifer I want to start making videos like that. I want to show them just how crazy people drive and how lazy they really can be. I want to go in on people so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to just rip them apart pieces.
Yep, I seen one young person, and they got the music booming, playing
Mm-hmm.
their music, and the windows was rattling, and they in the fire lane. Instead of going and parking their car,
Mm-hmm.
somebody they them pulled up there in the fire lane, and they're putting their groceries in the car there, and people can't even get in the store.
I know because they just so it
Oh,
just
because they're so entitled, and they have
that's
to
the
have what
thing.
they have.
Entitlement. I'm sick of. I see that constantly. Entitlement, and people not getting for accountability. Those run hand in hand with this new generation.
Yep.
Entitlement. They it's like where does that come from? I mean, is it because of the parents or they feel like maybe if the child like you, Penny, you were saying they come from a single home and maybe the parent. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like it could be a number of any one of those
Yeah.
things.
And I think it could be a number of any one of those things, but also some of those kids are that way because they don't, because you know how like they'll be opposite because they always get no at home. They
Mhm,
feel like as soon as I go out, I'm gonna get whatever I want.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be one of those situations too, because they always get no. So they figure now I'm gonna get whatever I want as fast as I want.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And
It's
they
just like that situation when you remember back, it was probably about 2 years ago. Remember that when the Popeyes chicken sandwiches came out
Oh my gosh,
and
that
everybody was up there on Instagram and everywhere fighting over them having a shortage of these sandwiches.
mhm.
yes. Over the dang Popeye's chicken. I never tried one. I
I
was like, I ain't even, I guess I just didn't fall for the hype. But yeah, I do remember seeing all them people fighting over them.
Oh, they loving it. The marketing Popeyes and
Mhm,
what was it? Chick-fil-A they were comparing them to or whatever, or the chicken
mhm.
sandwich. But yeah, Popeyes was loving it. See, Popeyes, I don't like the Popeyes around here. So every time you go roll up in there, ones we used to go to, it's like we get some chicken, then like they either always out of sides or something else. It's always a constant. Like look on YouTube, you'll see the video where the Popeyes. It was like over 10 years ago. They did a special, and Popeye was out of everything. But it was people went into a frenzy. It was on the news too because it was all out of the chicken for that special, and people were driving like from one city to the next city trying to get this chicken special. I'm serious. It's like,
That is crazy.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
Well, I know that when I've gone in there and it's like it's supposed to be drive through. They
Yeah.
have you in the drive through for like 25, 30 minutes.
Mm,
yes. I
And
was
then you
gonna
can't get
say,
out because if somebody comes behind you, you're stuck.
yeah. Oh
yep,
Yeah,
God.
you stuck like Chuck until
you
they
just
move.
stuck.
Mhm.
That actually happened to me recently at a Arby's. And honestly, when I finally got up to the window,
Yeah.
I asked the manager. At first, I was mad. I didn't say nothing, but the guy handed me my bag. I was coming from a doctor's appointment. I had took the day off, and I was like, "Okay, I'm hungry now. Let me stop and get me a." I was gonna get a fish sandwich and fries, the little combo.
Mm,
Hmm.
So I'm in the drive-through for like 15 minutes. I
yeah.
couldn't get out of the drive-through. There was cars in front of me, cars behind me.
Right.
So by the time I got up to the window, I was like looking at the dude like, okay, is he gonna say something? Is he gonna apologize for my wait or what?
Nope.
No.
He didn't say nothing to me. He just handed me my bag. So I went and grabbed one of the fries. The fries was cold. I said, can I please get some fresh fries? I mean, I only been in this line for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And he just took it back, still had an attitude. So I asked him, could I talk to the manager? The manager came. She was an older woman. She was getting smart with me. She was telling me that something about their systems went down and they only had the drive-through register. and they were trying to ring people up that were coming inside. And I was like, well, that's not my problem. I said, well,
Yeah.
maybe you guys should close the inside if only your drive through is working. And maybe you guys should apologize to the people when they get up to the window. And if you know the food is cold and they ask for it to be replaced,
Yeah.
just go ahead and replace it. You don't got to give me no attitude about it. So she just looked at me like I was dumb. So I took down the little number off their window, right?
Yeah.
And I called and made a formal complaint. That was my first time doing that. That was like 2 months ago.
Right.
And they were very courteous. They actually took my information, and just literally like 2 weeks ago or something, I got 2 complimentary meal cards in the mail from Arby's.
Wee.
I said thank you because I told them I just paid $8 and some change for some horrible service.
Yeah.
Thank God I wasn't on a lunch break or something, because I would have been totally late getting back to work.
Yeah.
It was just
Yep.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I for that reason, I don't go to Burger King for this reason. I was in a line and all I got ordered was a Whopper with cheese. Okay. I waited in the line 35 minutes.
Oh my God, that is
And I couldn't get out of the line because it's like you got one car in front of you, one behind you. So it's like, oh my God. And I was just on a break. So then I had to call and tell somebody I'm coming, but I'm stuck in the line.
right.
So when I finally get up there and I'm like, and then she's looking about and she's up there chewing bubble gum and like this is whatever how much it was, and I give it to her and she snatches it out my hand.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what? I was like, you know what? I need to talk to somebody.
Right.
Exactly. Because
I
normally
don't
you would
like
just go
drama,
on.
but you can't take that. I was like, one, I have 2 things that I'm very like I get triggered about. Don't snatch something out my hand, and when I give you money, do not slap my money on the counter. I
Exactly.
cannot. I hate when someone slaps my money on the counter. I'm telling you, it kills me. And I'm like, and I'm standing there with my hand out, and you slap it on the counter. And I said, my hand is right here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My
Because
hand
you
is
put
right
it in their
here.
hand. You put it in their hand. You didn't slap it on the counter.
And they're looking at me, and most of them are Generation Z, and they're looking at me like, what's your problem?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I'm not moving until you pick it up and put it in my hand. And she's looking at me, I'm looking at her, and people's like, girl, just pick up your money. No, you stay out of this. This is my money, and I'm going to do what I want. Okay. If more people would confront people and not let them get away with it, I think some people would change, because if everybody would be like, no, don't treat me like that, they would make changes.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, because that lady had me upset that day because she was the manager. And I mean, I got it from the young boy because, I'm like, well, he's young. He don't really care. But I was just like, thank God I'm on my way home. I'm coming from downtown. I'm on my way home. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I kind of knew it might be a little late in the drive-thru, but not that dang long.
Yeah.
And then
Mine
I'm
was
like,
35 minutes, Pandy. 35 minutes.
And if you got a delay with your system, then don't you think you need to be dropping some fresh fries for these people? I mean,
I'm telling you, these people don't be thinking ahead. Look, it's like they
you
in their
gonna
own
hand me
world.
some cold food and I'm gonna pay for it. No.
Yep. And when I got up there, I gave them an earful.
I did too. I told the lady, I said, this is poor. I said, this is poor customer service. And I'm going to let you know right now that I got that corporate number off your window, and I will be contacting them. And she was just looking at me like, okay, Ann. That's how she was.
I know. They don't care. It's like
they don't care, and that's terrible.
They just want to get their money and go. They don't care about anything. It's like it's all about them. Me. I don't care about you or whatever. No, I'm just here to get a check, and that's it. I don't have, they do it their way. Last summer, man, I think it was summer before, me and Patrick was working. First time we went to this particular Burger King on the west side of town, and never been there, but we went there for lunch to get some food. So we went in there. So I was first in line, but there was just these people on the side, so I was just checking, make sure they wasn't in line first. So I went up, and then I was going to get my food, go to make my order. Next thing I know, homegirl from the left side looked at me up and down like, what you want to do? Like, I'm just sitting. I'm scared. She gave me a look, So her and the girl behind the register were friends, So she gave me this dirty look. I mean, I wasn't worried about it. So I just said, "Be cool." So I just, go ahead,
Be cool.
I'm saying I had to get my own self ground rules. It's so hard, you know. And so then I got my food in the order. Okay, so then Patrick come behind me. So he just wanted to get some, I think, some tenders or nuggets or whatever. And then the girl, she had a stank attitude with him. Cause here's what it was. He was saying, "Well, don't you want me to pay whatever?" Like she got an attitude about that. Then he said, "Well, can I at least get some sauce?" Because she didn't even ask him what kind of sauce she want. She was like, "Well, now you tell me." I was like, "Oh my God, I cannot believe it." You know what?
Yep.
I should have did. I should have got that number because that girl, she was just. I'm serious. I was like, well, my thing is, why do you people even come to work? Why do people with nasty attitudes like that come to work in a way? Why don't you just stay home with that stink attitude? I'm serious. Yeah. A stank attitude. You don't deserve no money, no work, nothing. You just stay home.
I know. And that is the reason why most of them always hop from job to job,
Yeah.
because they won't fix their attitude and they think that it's the job that's the problem when the problem is them.
I told her. I told Patrick, I said that girl, she'll never own no business, run no business. That's why you work. I guess that's why you work at Burger King with that attitude. You got Burger King attitude on you. I mean, it's like you don't want. Apparently, she ain't got. To me, I can smell it on. She ain't got no goals in life or something with that attitude. She just want to make a little money, whatever, go home and whatever. I was like, I don't care. I said for that day for we never went there again, but she just got on Patrick, gave him an attitude because he was asking, "Well, you want me to pay?" She went off on him because we understand, people have bad days, but my God, you still got to be professional, and that's the thing. Do the corporation when people get this training, do they teach them how to be professional?
No, they don't.
Because obviously, they just hire and boom, that's it. They just take you off the street, go. They don't matter.
Yep. I know when I used to work at Denny's, I got no training. It was just like, it's like, oh, good, you showed up.
Yeah, they just be happy to have somebody. Because the boy who was ringing me up, he was just looking so stressed. But I mean, by the time the lady came walking up, he was like standing there looking like, "Oh Lord, my manager's about to go off on her." And I'm looking at her like, "Okay, I wish you would."
Yeah.
I'm really just looking at her like, okay, she's gonna come over here and patch things up. She's gonna apologize. She's gonna make me feel good. And they're gonna give me some fresh fries, and I'm gonna go on. Because at this point, I already been waiting 15 minutes, so I don't care if I gotta wait 2 more minutes for you to get me some fresh fries. But you must be crazy if you think I'm about to take some cold stuff, and I've been sitting here all this time.
Yeah.
And her attitude, she went to telling me, well, it's out of our control if our systems went down here, this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, then maybe you should lock your lobby doors. Maybe you should not allow people to come in if you know you only got this one register. I mean, you got cars wrapped all around the building. Yeah. And I'm thinking, and I was trying to, I was being stern about it, but I wasn't really being rude. And I'm thinking like, ain't the customer always right?
Well, I don't know what's going on because I am finding that even management now has the nastiest attitudes. And it's the management is people who are, I guess you could call them, they're millennials. So they come in with their millennial attitude into the professional workspace. And I said, for me, my solution is I cannot eat out.
Exactly.
That's my solution. I was like, you know what? Even though I don't want to wait 45 minutes to eat, I like eating in peace. I don't want to be like, I don't know if these people done drop my food on the ground or they spit in it or whatever it is that they did.
Right. That's why I'm like, I will just, as much as some days I do not be wanting to come home and cook, but I will. Yeah. I will just go ahead and cook something.
And that's another thing that I wanted to, I led into that because I have a big issue. How come these millennials, all they want to do is eat out?
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, that we talked about that at work. They don't.
Oh,
No, none of them don't have no cooking skills. All they do is they want to microwave. Everything is fast, 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 fast. They don't want to cook nothing. It's like the lazy mentality. They'd rather eat out, eat, spend thousands of dollars a month, where they could be saving that money at home cooking or whatever, versus eating out all the time. I mean, it's not wrong with eating out, but it's better to do it at
not
home.
every meal.
Yeah,
Not every meal. And it's like if they're not eating out physically, they're door dashing or Uber Eats. And
oh, there you go.
I'm just like, dang, do people even cook anymore at home? Like, am I
No, they
a
don't.
dinosaur?
Well, I had one of my nephews tell me, he said, it's cheaper for me to DoorDash because it's me. It's just me. He said I would have to turn on the stove and I'm gonna use my electricity. I said those are all just excuses because you don't want to cook.
God bless.
Right. And I'm sorry, I'm not paying all them excess delivery fees. And I mean, at work, every once in a while, we'll all be like, hey, we're going to DoorDash, such and such. If it's a group or something like that,
Yeah.
okay. And all I got to pay for is my food. But the one time I tried that mess at work, my $6 meal was going to cost me like $15. I was like, heck, I almost said the word H to the double ELL. No.
No, you gotta say cuss vanity.
Okay, cuss vanity. No. I was like, no, that is ridiculous. And the thing is, I'm like, I could just get in my car and go drive over there and get it for the regular price.
Mhm.
So that is definitely, I feel like a younger generation thing. I don't know what that is.
Every meal, DoorDash, Uber Eats, some kind of restaurant, or they'll be calling around for 45 minutes asking everybody in the family, what did you cook?
So they can make their rounds.
Yep.
Like auntie, uncle, I appreciate it. I see y'all later. Got a whole thing of plates with aluminum foil all wrapped up in bags. I see you, auntie and uncle. Thanks for everything. They come off like 5 minutes, give them a nice hug and speaking. Yeah. Get out my face. They just want yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah, as soon as they come in the house, hey auntie, how you doing? And you see them start walking towards the fridge. What you doing?
What's in the stove? What's in the pot?
Yeah, say, auntie, what you cook?
Okay. Knowing they done came over there, stomach growling in knots. They came over there fully prepared to eat.
Yeah, because they already know. And I was like, I don't understand. And they don't think that they need to cook. But what I don't understand is they don't expect to cook, but they think the person that they're with should cook.
Right. Isn't that something?
I was like, huh?
No survival skills, no do for self.
Listen, I had to even explain that to my husband. I'm like, listen, you're going to have to cook some of these days, okay? Because I'm not going to cook every single day because, for one, my children are all grown and out of the house. It's just you and me. And some days I might just want to eat a sandwich for dinner, or I might make some dang on chili dogs. And see, he's all spoiled where his mom was always cooking all these big old meals.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't your mama and I ain't cooking like that every day. So I'm just saying, either you gonna cook sometimes or we just gonna be eating what we eating. And it ain't gonna always be no big meal.
Oh, Pandy, please cook for me. I'm sorry.
So sometimes he literally makes a big deal out of it if I decide to make something light. But that was how he used to act when we first got married. Now he has realized he would have so much more of a happier wife if I come home and I smell food cooking. I'm like, yes, come through. He's hooking up dinner tonight. I can chill out.
Yeah.
But he used to be really acting like I was so wrong because I didn't want to cook. And I'm like, for what? Or this was another big thing. He was acting like he was too good for leftovers. And I'm like, are you crazy? I'm like, first of all, food prices cost way too dang much. And what do I look like cooking a whole new fresh meal? We have food from yesterday. Are you crazy?
I don't eat that.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I said his solution is meal prep, but you said he don't like leftovers.
No. And my thing is, I know your mama and you have two other siblings, so you cannot sit here and tell me that you can grow up eating leftovers. So quit playing and acting brand
Everybody,
new.
yeah, grew up with leftovers if you're in generation
Yeah,
X.
you know dang well you done ate leftovers before, okay? As
Mhm.
long as it been refrigerated overnight, we're gonna heat this up, and you better sit down and eat if you want to eat.
Oh,
Mhm.
leftovers are the best. Oh my, especially like
Leftovers is the best because it's been marinated all night.
Exactly.
hey,
But he'd be like, I am tired of that. We ain't got nothing else. I'm like, well, so what I'm supposed to throw that away? Are you crazy? No, we gonna eat that. You gonna eat that. I'm gonna put a little fresh side with it. You gonna eat that.
Mm.
I wish I
Yeah,
could see that up close and personal. Be an audience member watching
He
that.
was looking at me so bad, like, oh, here she go. Yes, I
my
am.
dad used to be that way too, and my mama used to spoil my daddy.
Hmm.
He sure did
That's
with
how I
all
get
those
this mom.
kids. My mama used to cook my dad his own meal.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yes,
She would cook
that's
for us, and then my dad, she would make him like fried fish or whatever my daddy would want. And we'd be looking like, wait a minute, how come he's getting fish or steak or and be like, because he's the father.
Hmm.
I was like, that ain't and I'd be mumbling to myself. My dad said, what did you say?
Or daddy gets the big piece of chicken.
Yeah, he always got to choose first. And I'm like, he always get the daggone breast.
yeah. But no, I told him, I'm like, listen, your mom did you a huge disservice because I'm not gonna cook a whole big fresh meal every single day.
Oh
I'm
no.
not going to do it. But then what I got smart and started doing, because he used to literally drive me crazy with that foolishness. It used to literally, I was thinking, this is going to be the reason why we separate, okay? Because you're getting on my
Not
nerves.
over meals.
But this was like 15 years ago now. We've managed to work it out because it took me a long time. Once the kids were gone and out of the house, I had to readjust
Hmm.
from cooking a big meal all the time to cooking for just two. That took some strange adjusting because I didn't know how to do it. I hadn't had to do that in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So now, whenever I go and buy our food
Hmm.
and I buy the meats and stuff, I break it all down into freezer bags and I just put like 4 pieces of meat in each bag.
Right.
And so I
Mhm.
only cook enough for us to eat, you know, seconds, one plate and another plate. So that way he feels like he's getting his way and eating a fresh meal regularly because he act like he think he don't got to eat no leftovers. And then I don't have to get worked up and he ain't got to hear my mouth, you know, 'cause I'm cooking just enough because he know he don't be wanting to hear my mouth.
I
And
know
I don't
that's
be
right.
wanting to hear his. So that was how I got around that.
Hmm.
Mhm. Well, my mom used to always say, and but then the bad part is when you make them that way, and then my mom got sick of it when
Uh-huh.
everybody got to be when the grandkids came around, and my dad be like, "Hold on, wait a minute, what is this?" Mom talk about leftovers,
Uh-huh.
and then he's like, "What? Say what?" And everybody looking at the both at them going back and forth. You turn your head, what? Uh huh. Yeah. And
Yeah,
they going back and
you get
forth,
them
and my mom is
accustomed
like,
to it.
unless you gonna cook something or go pick up something,
Hmm.
you this is what you're gonna eat. And he was, I remember that meal. He just barely touched his food because it was like reality sunk.
Yeah, and I don't understand that because I'm telling you, there will be times like for me growing up, I'm like, do you know spaghetti tastes so much better the next day?
Mm.
So I would make spaghetti and we have it the next day. And then my husband would come in like, well, what we having for dinner tonight? I'm like, there's still spaghetti in there. And he like, man, I don't feel like that again today. I'm like, oh, well, you must have done went and bought something and you about to cook it. And he'd be looking at me so mad, but then he'll go in there and start heating it up and be sitting there frowning as he's eating every bite. I'm just like, dude, if you want to eat something brand new, then you must be going to go buy it and cook it because I'm not. There's already food in there
Well, that ain't
No, that's right.
that is cooked. Like I'm not making a special
yeah.
preparations because you want to act like you just, brand new, like you ain't never ate next day food. Cut
All
the
brand
crap.
new, like a brand new penny.
Mhm.
Yeah, cut it out. And he's like, here she go. He would never say anything. And I love him. He's great, but I could just tell he'd be so irritated. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. We ain't
Yep.
got money like that to be thrown away. And you talking about what you don't feel like, you better feel like eating that food that's in there cooked already.
Mhm.
I ain't cooking nothing until that's gone.
It-
Yep.
yeah.
I got a word from the Belief of Fatherhood. I don't know if you follow him on YouTube, but his kid came up with a name for mad and irritated. He says, "I'm so irritated," and that's what.
Oh my God, that is a good one.
And so now every time when someone is mad and irritated, I say, "Oh, are you irritated?"
Oh my God, that is so good. I'm gonna have to use that one.
Yes, that's what they act like. You mad and irritated, and you're not willing to do anything. Like, okay, did you pick up anything? Are you going to cook? Like, where is the solution here?
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, now he has gotten better.
Yeah.
He will eat the leftovers without complaining. And then I got, to the point where I was like, well, let me break this down in freezer bags and only cook what we're going to eat.
Yeah.
Because I already know he is not going to want to eat the next day the same stuff. But it took us a long time to get to that happy medium.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah, it took my mom. How long were my parents married? 52 years,
Yeah.
and my mom had to deal with cooking him fresh meals for 30 years.
OMG.
Yeah, my mom had to make him fresh food every day, plus all 10 of us kids.
Oh my.
And
Wow.
don't let us have a friend over. Hmm. I was
Oh.
like, I used to look at my dad like he was crazy. Like, oh, you want fresh? Because
Mhm.
I wouldn't say nothing, but I'd be looking like, boy, I wish you would. Mhm.
It is something else, boy.
It's something else. But back to this talking about this younger generation. What do you think is like a solution to this problem?
Huh. Wow.
I'm really thinking. I don't necessarily know that there is a solution because a lot of them are so set in their ways. They're going to continue to operate how they operate. I mean, you can take your stance and command your respect and let them know what they're not going to do.
Right.
Hmm.
But at
Yep.
the end of the day, I mean, I don't really see a solution because it seems to be getting worse and worse.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Like you were talking about saying respect, like not putting like uncle or aunt in front of your name. Like there's a guy I work with. He always call his uncle by his first name. He never says uncle. So I talked to his uncle. I said, "Man, why do you ever call you say uncle? In front of your name. Cause he talking because he's like one of those Gen Z's disrespect. Because he's always disrespecting him. I know one day the guy I worked with, the uncle to the nephew, he told me one day, he had enough to the point. He said, because his nephew was so disrespectful. He said, he took him and just choked him down one day. I said, yeah. And he's had his mom, the nephew's grandma, his mother. So she said she's so glad he did it because he is really disrespectful to his uncle all the time. I said, man, I never once heard you say uncle to your uncle while y'all working together. He always called him by his first name all the time. I was like, wow. But yeah, like he told
Mm.
me, said he's always been disrespectful. Yeah, but he said that one day he had just choke him down, and straighten out a lot of things too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, things are a little different where my parents come from in Jamaica. It's a different belief systems and
Mhm.
culture and different things. But I remember one time when one of my cousins, they said something to my uncle like you know how like kids will say, "Oh, that's not how it went."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dip into the conversation, and you don't do that there. So
Mhm.
he was raised over in the States and then went to visit family for some type of vacation.
Yeah.
And my uncle, hit him in his mouth and broke his teeth.
Ooh, ooh, I bet you he didn't say nothing like
Yeah,
that no
and he
more.
said nothing after that because it was like, and he was like, "Oh, you can't do that." And then that's when everybody, all the rest of the elders stood up, like, "Oh, you still talking? You want some more?"
Like, listen, y'all might not allow it there, but we will get you together over here.
We will get you together. They will get you all the way together. And he was still trying to talk with, blood coming out of his mouth and everything. I'll never forget that. I was like, ooh,
Mm,
still. I said, you still? I said, they was like, you still talking? They was like, you want some more?
mm.
Yeah.
Now that is a pet peeve. I could not stand that when my kids were younger, or even now to this day when you see it with people. Like, if you see somebody in public and they're like trying to verbally discipline their kids, they
Yeah.
ain't trying to necessarily put their hands on them, but they're verbally trying to get them to do something, and the kids just gotta have the last word. I'm
Mhm.
just like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, I have spoken, shut up. Like, okay, just calm down, relax. And they will keep going back and forth, and then it ends up escalating.
Yeah, and it easily can escalate. It's very easy to escalate. That's why I give my props to all these parents these days because it wasn't like when we were growing up where your parents could put their hands on you and it would be
Hmm.
like I remember being a little kid and it was a security guard in the store and I think the kid was trying to steal a candy bar or something
Yeah.
and the security guard went up to the parent and took off his belt.
Oh no.
He
Yeah.
was like,
it's,
"You
it's
gonna do
just
it
crazy.
or what?"
Right? Like, do you need some assistance? It's crazy to me because, like, most, I don't know, you just used to, in your mind, thinking, okay, let me say something to this child, let them know this is it, and then that be that. It's not a back and forth. This is not a time for you to go back and forth. I'm not asking for your side. I have said what the heck I done said. It's done.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, please, when I was growing up, I wish I would.
Mhm.
I'm pretty
And I
sure.
was even afraid of the look my mom would give me.
Let
That
alone
look my
the
mother
look.
gave me, it struck so much fear inside of me that I would tremble.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh," I was like, "Ooh, that's a death look. Ugh, I'm finished." Mhm.
yeah. I don't know, because you would think that you can verbally, kind of get them to stop whatever the situation is, especially in public. I see it a lot when I'm out in public, and I'm just thankful. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad my kids are grown,
Hmm.
and I don't have that problem. Even when we did run into situations, I could get it together and it not be a, oh, I need to beat them in public. No, I'm going to tell you to calm your butt down, and you're going to calm your butt down. But now, when you see these parents with their younger kids and they're like trying to get them to listen, the kids overtalk them, they're yelling at them, they're cussing at them, and even putting their hands on them. And I'm like, whoa, what the heck is going on
Mhm.
here?
Yeah.
Yep. That's how it was. I mean, I used to be so scared. I don't know about y'all, but when I used to be in service, when we would go on Sunday and I would do something and my mom would look at me, she would just everybody sitting there, my mom would look past everybody and look down at me. Ooh, oh my
Oh.
God. I
Yeah,
couldn't even think the rest of the service. I was like, I'm done.
Mhm.
I'm done. What's gonna happen?
I'm telling you. I wasn't finna play with my mom. I was like, she is not finna embarrass me out here.
Yeah.
Mhm. And
And
if you didn't get that look, if my mom did the reach over and grab you by your ear,
Yeah.
ooh, ooh,
ooh, not the
ooh,
ear.
and you couldn't say anything, and it would be dead silent in service, and she would just be twisting your ears, and you'd be like, "Oh my God!"
Twisted.
Twist and shout on your ears, and
Ooh,
you
I bet
better
that
get
hurt.
it. Hmm.
Bet that hurt.
Ooh,
Mm-mm-mm.
and it did. And I wanted to scream, and my mom would look at me like, say something. Ooh, I
Hmm.
would say something. All right, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so different because the younger generation is definitely different. It's of course it's gonna be different. We were different than our parents' generation. You know what I'm saying? but it just seemed like it done somewhere along the way took a decline.
I
Getting
feel like for me, my personal belief, I feel like the bottom has fallen out.
Yeah.
the bottom. You say that again. The bottom
Yeah.
of their pants on the ground don't never.
Faggot.
I'm so sick. It's like they want to
The
look so.
skinny jeans.
I know they want to look so cool, no belt, and it keeps dropping. I get sick of that. Like workers too. I've seen Walmart or employees, at the places, they pants keep coming down because they look so. I get so sick of that. A buddy told me
Mhm.
about that. Older, he's much older. He said that it comes from jail. The prisoners did.
Mhm.
It's like, well,
Well,
Yeah.
my dad told me that because he was a police officer. My dad said
yeah,
that originated back from homosexuality. And
Uh-huh.
my dad said they would drop their pants to show each other they were interested in each other.
mhm.
Uh-huh. I had to tell my boys that when they were younger too. Like,
Yeah, and I
don't
was
be
like,
walking
oh my
around here
god, I
with your
didn't know
pants.
that.
I did not see your drawers. I
Pants.
dang sure ain't trying to see none of y'all's butt crack.
Mhm.
So you got a belt, put it on, and make sure your pants is pulled up. And what kills me is when you see these ones where the pants literally, I don't even know how they be staying up. They be on the back of their thighs.
Oh
Oh,
my
Like you
goodness,
can see their
yes.
whole boxers, and I'm just like, and they wear it like it's a fashion statement.
I know, and they proud of it too.
I'm
No,
like,
and
do
they
you
can't
know
even
how
walk
stupid
because
that looks?
they're dragging the bottom of the jeans or the pants on the ground.
And they gotta walk us like a penguin with their
Yeah.
feet to the side.
My mom would say they gotta walk pigeon toed.
Yeah, just like I'm
So
like, why? Who thought that was cute? Like that is so weird looking. I'm
yeah,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
I was like, times definitely have changed because there ain't nothing cool about showing your draws.
not only that, but at the same time while they doing that with their pants down, I'm so sick of it in the stores. Everybody got to put everybody on the speakerphone now. They want you to hear their whole. Oh my gosh! You know what? I feel like if they can feel like they want to be open season, I turn my recorder on, and start recording the conversation. You want to play? Oh, game on. I turn my recorder
Mhm.
on recording. I'm serious.
Oh,
It's like they got everything has to be on speakerphone. Speakerphone. They want you to hear everything. They be in the line. They talk
mm,
whatever. They say, "Oh Lord." It's
And
like,
it's not light conversation they're having either.
yeah,
nope, it sure don't be. Now,
It's
how
not. It's a
about this?
deep conversation. You're like, whoa.
In you guys' areas, do because this was a culture shock for me when I moved from Washington to
yeah.
South Carolina. When I wasn't used to going into like the gas station and the gas station clerk just be on their cell phone and
Mhm.
they don't acknowledge you. They're ringing you up and everything, but they're just carrying on with their phone conversation.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or like
Because I don't know, up north they don't allow you to do that, but here I notice that is every gas station, every convenience store. Even if I go in Family Dollar, they are on their phone
yeah,
and they're just holding a conversation like you are not in front of them.
yeah,
Yep.
or I've seen it where the workers at CVS, two girls, open conversation in front of the customers. They business right down Front Street, as if they were on the phone. Just I was like, wow, y'all that bold to tell your business right there as we trying to get ringed up. They was
Yep.
Right.
Yes, they'd be like, well, if he doesn't want to do that, then tell him come and pick up his kids and buy the milk and the
Right.
diapers, and you're looking like, ooh.
Right. And then it's like you know the whole conversation and you just standing there trying to get rung up. And you know the whole conversation because they done sat up there and talked it. And I'd be like, what the work? Really?
And I don't, and but they have certain places which I um, like certain dollar stores and things, and they said, end your conversation before you ring up your groceries.
Mhm.
Right. Right. But that's to the customers. It be the
Yeah,
employees
that's
here.
to the customers, but yeah, this the employees.
These employees, and they be looking at you, rolling their eyes like,
You know what I'm gonna
are
say.
you,
No,
like,
they
I'm
act
not
like
getting
they're
off the
paying
phone.
for it,
I'm
Pandy.
not getting off the phone because you're in my line. That's how they be
No,
looking.
no, they're looking at you like they're paying for your stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I not paying for this?
And for me, it has never been a older person. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a 40 and above
No.
person. It's usually like a younger person. And I'm
Hmm.
just like, what is the world? I mean, like, dang, you can't get off the phone and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
No, no, it's important. No, I got the girl, child. I got to do it now. Girl, no,
They
I
be
got to
talking about who was at the club last night. Girl, did you see
Mhm.
so and so, girl?
I would say,
Well,
oh, did you see him? He needed to get his hair rebraided. Yes, child.
girl.
I don't know because I need to go get my nails done when I get off tonight. And I'm like, really? Girl, I know all about her nails and everything because I'm trying to get rung up. I had to
and
hear the whole conversation.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
like,
like, this is so ghetto.
it's like,
It is very. And
yeah,
I'm like, girl, come on now.
yeah, it's like some people stand by that. You know, it's like it's a, like you said, a badge of honor. Every other do that's more, you know, I seem like people to do that, like the ghetto mentality or the Pookie Ray Ray mentality. It's like it's more easier to do that than try to be nice and actual decent person and doing the right, doing, doing courteous, being courteous to people and stuff. That's, you know what I mean. It's like that's what it seemed like. It appears to me. It's more easier to just do it that way, do what they want, than versus trying to just be a decent person. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, but now it's like when you give good customer service, like people praise you so rapidly now when that should be the order of the day, and people don't know how to be, kind. And even like simple things like I've said to my best friend and my sisters and other people who
yeah,
are in our generation, people don't know how to say thank you and I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's just like they bump into you and they look at you like, what?
Yep.
they ready for war. Little
Yeah,
stuff like
ready for
that.
war.
Or like I remember like back in high school, if you actually somebody had a new pair of Jordans or something, if you accidentally stepped on, oh, a fight will break out over a shoe that you accidentally stepped on or bumped in, you didn't know you did it, accidentally. They be ready to fight because they got like $200 shoes, and so I get so sick of that. It's like this that status with the shoe. People like I used to watch those videos on YouTube where people standing in line for those Jordans and stuff, and like how fights would break out over a shoe. It's like it was like the young kids, in line wanting to fight over a shoe that because it's rare, and like it has value for those Jordans. And
Hmm.
it's like they take more effort than that doing a shoe than they would like trying to get a job or something. It's like they put more effort into the other stuff, that's I seem kind of pointless to me versus something being really productive, you know.
Yeah, and like I don't know if it has happened in your area, but
Yeah.
when people get killed and you see like somebody's sneakers on the
Yeah.
telephone wire, that means somebody was killed, you know? And
Mm-mm-mm.
it's like that. I'm like, this is crazy that people are being killed
Yeah.
just because of
The shoe.
sneakers. Like people are being killed because this person has Jordans. I know when I was in school, people would get into make fun of you if you wore Bobo sneakers, which was like
Oh yeah.
Keds or something like that. But I mean, nobody wasn't going to kill you if you came to school with
Hmm.
Bobo sneakers.
No, you
Right.
more safer with
Yeah,
Bobo.
you were safer.
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy, and I
These
really
folks
feel
get,
sorry for this lost generation.
yeah, and also the other thing too, with I say the younger generation, like when we were growing up, there were actual fights with
Yeah.
the kids and the younger generation. Like, there would be like, oh, wait till the last day of school. I don't know if you guys were like that when you were younger.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Everybody would be waiting until they would not like each other all year long and literally wait till the last day of school to have a little
When
fight.
said when the bell rings, meet me by the monkey bars.
Exactly, like, and or they would literally have a fist fight. Okay, and guess what? That would be it. Whoever won, whoever lost, and guess what? You probably end up going back and be friends with that person later. But now it's all about the gunplay. These folks are shooting each other over the dumbest stuff.
Yeah. There.
Yep.
The
And
dumbest
and the
stuff.
sad part is in school now, because I have younger nieces and nephews, and they say when they go into school, they have to go through the scanners.
They got
They get
all those
scanned like they
metal
go into the
detectors.
airport.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy.
I was like, that's a mess.
Yeah.
It is so crazy. And I mean, I am just like I say, oh, I'm so glad my kids are grown. But then like my oldest son is now raising two sons.
Yeah.
And so I'm just worried and concerned for them because I'm like, oh my God, they're not, the oldest one is just now entering into kindergarten. But I'm just like, what is it going to be when they get to like fifth and sixth grade and junior high and high school? Because you got all these dang mass school shootings and folks getting mad because this one embarrassed this one. When we were coming up, you would rank, they call it playing the dozens, y'all would roast back and forth,
Yeah.
but it wasn't no dang malicious intent. It was just, a part of growing up.
Yeah.
It was like they would call clowning,
Right. You would
you know.
clown and roast and drag, and that be that. It was just words.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, it was just
words.
words. It wasn't anything, unless they was talking about your mama. Now that was the
Oh,
forget
yeah, that's
everything.
fighting words right there, but
Yeah, those
that's what y'all was
everything was
fighting.
off if you talked about somebody's mama. Now people don't care. They laugh about
Now,
their own mama.
exactly. And not only that, these folks, it's like my husband said, these kids are scary. They're not going to fight. They are going to first resolve is to pull out a gun.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the answer for everything for them. They come strapped, ready to go, ready to go. They don't matter
Right.
any little tiny thing. Oh, it's just man.
And it's whose gun is bigger than the other person. Oh, they got this. I got this. Oh, come with it.
Yeah, easily.
It's
They don't care.
crazy.
It's like man.
Yeah.
That's why I go out and do my thing, but I try to avoid the younger. I sure do it. I need the younger generation. It's like, because it's like I'm sure I can't generalize everybody, but it's just that mentality. I see it so much. I'm tired. It's like I just try to not be around least as possible. Because
Yeah,
it's like
that's
man,
how I think that's how almost everybody here in the chat and those who are leaving comments in the comment section. It's hard when that's how you grew up and when you see things shifting. I can understand why when people get older, why there's so much disagreements because you're used to a certain set of ways that or how you believe things should be, and then the younger generation coming up is like, no, that's old fashioned or that's whack or whatever they want to
Mhm.
call it, and you're like, no, this is how it has to be. And there's like no guidelines anymore, like all the lines are blurred. I just think it's a mess right now.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, it
Mhm.
is. It
well
is.
well, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I didn't mean to keep you all so long, but we got into a good conversation here.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. Yeah,
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 I
I
enjoyed
enjoyed
it
it.
as well.
I look forward to the next one. I'll let you guys know what we'll talk about. I'll ask you guys what you want to talk about the next time. And thanks everybody who's watching, who has been here in the chat, and those who are watching on the replay. Please go ahead and leave me a comment and make sure that you like if you have not already. And also check out my fellow co-host channel, The Sure Shannon Show, and Pandy's Hair Candy and more. Thank you all so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great evening.
all right, everybody,
Bye-bye.
be
Thank you.
be
Bye
safe.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, click, click, click.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself.